in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Tuesday night percentage rant with your co-hosts, Kelli Uphaus and Norris Hardeman will be here soon. Yours truly, Larry Parsons. And our ever-present earwig, the real Tim Allan, behind the scene and making the magic work. This is my brain. And now your host, the guy that put this show together just so I could make it famous, Jeremy Scott Gibbs. No cat with 9 lives should feel threatened until they get down to 1 or 2 lives left.
Oh, yeah. And that's the way the cookie... I never understood that one. I'm going to have to look that up. That's the way the cookie crumbles? Yeah. I mean, did you make a garbage
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Let's unmute him. There we go.
I got it. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to...
Did you get your...
There's the brain.
There we go.
We got a Tuesday ticker. We got a Where's My Brain.
I think we're sort of ready.
We are. We got all the lights on, all the cameras on.
Yes, and Kelli and Norris will be here as soon as they can get here. That was an excellent dinner. That was great chicken. And I really liked the broccoli.
Did you like that chicken?
Yeah.
It was a pork chop, by the way.
It was a little porky chicken. I mean, it's on your paper.
It was such good chicken. It was a pork chop.
It was.
I can't read.
Apparently not.
No, that was
Mr.
really
Coffee's
good.
already given us poopy in the chat.
Yep.
But I like it.
And I got my webcam fixed again.
He does have a valid argument that
Yeah, we never do start a ish.
President Poopy? Is he talking about President Poopy?
No, he's given us
poop about start time.
But he does have a valid point that he doesn't have time for this. The Sage group is starting. They've got an urgent call to action.
Yeah, they do actually. The Sage group is targeting the is it? I can't talk tonight. Opera. Yes.
Opera House.
For a lot of people that don't know this, there are 2 left-wing extremist hate groups in Livingston County. One is called Sage, which they name themselves Stand Against Extremism, and they're the biggest extremists on the planet.
We're going to read some of their posts.
Yes, and the other one is called Livingston Integrity, but it should be Livingston Unintegrity because they have no idea what integrity even is. But what they generally do is these hate groups will target any business that allows Republicans to have fundraisers or events on their property. And
they're those people.
Yeah, and what they do is they have several screen names.
Loathe entirely.
What they do is they have several screen names. They have all kinds of email addresses, and they pretend that they're outraged, and they say, "Oh, you had white supremacists and KKKers and right-wing extremists, and they are MAGA supporters on your property, and you shouldn't have them there."
Yeah, Mr. Coffee said that Billy and Lily, like so many idiomatic phrases, its origins are obscured. The music duo of Billy and Lily helped popularize the phrase with their 1960 single, That's the Way the Cookie Crumbles.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
I wonder if the way that's phrased, that's the way the cookie crumbles, also.
You know,
if you read it, if you see also.
It's a fortune cookie. It's that's the way the cookie crumbles.
I wonder what it would sound like if Walter Cronkite would have said that.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Tonight. Good night.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember some lines he did.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that these extremist groups target, places like the Howell Opera House that
quit getting Oprah in there.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying that, but
it's bad.
Yes. They're serving the community. There was commissioners there. There was all kinds of awesome people there. I was there. and there wasn't
all kind of
any
awesome
white
people, and then
That's-
Larry.
I mean, that's kind of why
there
they.
wasn't a single white supremacist Democrat on the property.
You mean the people who actually started the KKK weren't there?
No.
Well, no, they were on
White
the front of the property. They were
supremacists,
outside the front of the
KKK,
property.
all these groups were Democrats.
Yeah.
They're dead, they're gone, and they're buried. And if there's any of them left, they're like got one tooth and in a garage somewhere, pulling on each other's winkies.
Wow.
They're
That is some dark shit right there, buddy.
I mean, they're dead for all practical purposes. It's a dead movement. It's gone. And it's these Democrats spread all this hate and all these lies, and they think the American people are stupid. Problem is, we're not. They
Right.
might be.
Right.
They might
come on.
be,
Come
but
on,
we're
Larry.
not.
For all campers and dolphins, or intents and porpoises.
Yes.
The
we got ahead
American
of
people
ourselves.
are.
We got ahead
stupid.
of ourselves. We were supposed to, before we started talking about the
You did it.
communists, the communists that want to attack the Howell Opera House.
Opera House.
I did
What
it
the-
again.
what the hell's
That's
with the
like third
opera thing?
time. The
Are you-
Howell
Orca House.
Opera House. Yes.
Hey, I learned
The Grand Old Opry House in Howell.
killer whales aren't
Look
actually
at the spelling of it,
whales, they're dolphins.
and then say operate. That's how you remember it. Operate Opera
Wow.
House.
Opera House.
Before we get started, we should
Operate.
probably disclaim something.
Well, I want to hear more about Larry's experience with the chicken.
Oh, it was lovely chicken. Yes.
It was great.
Yes. That
was
is the
pork
best
choppy chicken.
pork flavored chicken I ever had.
Okay.
And we didn't actually have broccoli. We had mushrooms, and those were awesome.
Shroomies.
Where did you get broccoli from? Did somebody say broccoli?
Broccoli.
No, I was kidding when I said broccoli.
On this show, we say
Yeah.
brackery.
Broccoli.
Brackery.
And then,
Like
of course we
From
had.
Space Ghost.
Then we had those noodles. And those were good.
Or Barack Obama.
Were they cheesy noodles? What
Yeah.
were they? What was it? Was that a white sauce?
I was just a white mac.
White mac.
White mac and cheese with
White-
a crumble on the top. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, Crazy Town. The show hasn't started yet.
Crazy Town.
Crazy Town.
Somebody told
welcome
Crazy
aboard.
Town it hasn't started yet.
We were mostly prepared to go live right at 8:00, and then we hit some snags.
Somebody in chat told Crazy Town it's only started with people who know how to click the button twice.
Yes.
It starts.
It only started when
With
you
you.
hit the rumble, though.
It only starts with you.
Yes.
No,
Don't
it
forget
only
to hit
starts
the
with
rumble.
I. It only starts with I. You gonna give me a disclaimer to read?
Yeah. Common sense is not so common. Voltaire.
No, not this.
That's my glass.
Picture.
That's my glass.
Oh, is it?
It's on my glass.
Yeah.
Yes, and I just heard a door
Yeah.
outside, so I'm thinking that
Probably Norris.
Norris has
Yes.
arrived. He said he was going to be there.
You go to
Yes.
the cave shot.
You know what? Norris.
Is that Norris walking
I'm
in?
trying not to yell into my mic. We can go to the
Oh,
we can go to the cave shot while Norris walks in, sure. And put Norris on the cave shot while he's walking in, sure.
there he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah, you know where he's going when he goes under the camera.
Uh-huh.
He's using the pate.
He's going to the ladies' room.
Mhm.
That was rude.
Well,
it
this
is the ladies' room,
it is
isn't
rude because this podcast.
Am I lying?
Hey, Larry, this podcast is rude because it is mostly raw. It is raw and unfiltered and completely politically incorrect. We, in fact, don't want to know where the correct is or where the correct is kept. We say Merry Christmas because we put Christ in that holiday, even though it was a pagan originally. We took it. It's ours now. Can't have it back.
Owned.
Yep. And the Pledge of Allegiance, well, to the flag, especially the one about the one nation that is under God. We thank our troops
Yes.
for their service. I almost had to do that, but I'm thankful I didn't have to. Thank you for those who did do that
Mhm.
and that sacrifice. We need to get that veterans long table show put together.
We're
Here's a good
we're
stories.
working on that, buddy.
Yeah.
We only recognized two agendas.
A dangle and a non-dangle.
Yep, one of
Yeah.
each of those.
I think there's
Um,
X's and Y's attached to some of
There
that
is,
stuff.
there is.
And no cat ears.
No meow meows. As adults, we do actually partake occasionally with an adult beverage. Do you guys have any clink? You have a clink? You have a rattle? No clink.
This is an adult beverage, Dr. Pepper.
Right. Only adults drink diet. We cuss, especially a lot after about 9 o'clock.
What the?
Yes, exactly. But we do not curse nor swear. And I raise my 3 fingers. Promise I don't. Or your kids will have crooked teeth and pointy ears. That's cursing and swearing, not cussing. The difference. We love
Look it up.
Jesus. We hate religion and religious hypocrites, hypocritic, the Hippocrates,
Hypocresis.
the fakers.
Yep.
And if any of this offends you, you know who you are. Bye.
Speaking of those that might be offended, thank you for tuning in tonight. Those on the lefty side of the aisle, the
Faithful viewers,
non-right side of the aisle,
the wrong side of the aisle.
Yeah, the wrong side of the aisle, because without us and you being able to come and protest events like was at the Opera House, you would have nothing to do.
Yeah,
because your ideas, all your ideas, are just a perversion of what good people do.
Yeah, you'd have
I think Cat Dude.
You'd have no content.
I think Cat Dude showed up there and about 2 of his friends. And other than that, there was nobody there. Then one of the idiots had a sign that said "No white supremacy." Duh! It's been dead for how many years?
There he is. I think, Tim, we're going to need to pull at some point. I keep remembering and forgetting to set it up.
Yeah,
we need to pull the intro song. We'll
Yes.
probably get a copyright strike, but I want the intro song for Cat Dog.
Oh,
You know that one?
Yeah, I do.
Cat Dog,
Yep.
alone in the world, little cat dog, and we're
Yep.
gonna play that every time there's a lefty, because it's a cat and a dog that are sewed together in the middle. And
Yeah,
it's
I don't know how they
it's
ship.
kind of whacked out. It's
not sure how they do that.
I mean, you don't shit where you eat, but if you're attached to the middle, I don't know what else you can do. Yeah, remember Cat Dog?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that show because how could they fight with each other because they're attached? It's like a really bad experiment. Yes, Mr. Coffee, I saw the picture you sent to me. That is the picture of the I'm gonna say the protesters, all four
beggars and pretenders.
all force of them.
So
He's putting on number 4.
So actually, last night I had the pleasure of having dinner with Norris and his beautiful wife.
Oh, you were at the meeting, huh?
Yes. And let's bring Norris up to speed.
What's that? What did I miss?
Besides
the bad coverage of WHMI.
We have received. The show has received some screenshots. There's a. I don't know if you want to call it a conspiracy.
Well, let me get to the shot. Let's.
Oh God, here we go.
By 2 hate groups to target the Opera the
the love of God.
the Opera House.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
That's
All right, there
disgusting.
they are.
The
Every
Opera
time.
House.
Let's take a look at this real quick. I thought Howell was doing away with hate.
No, they're standing right there.
Yeah, they're standing right there.
Uh-huh.
White supremacists. They're all white.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but
The
I
grand-
awfully noticed that when I came in, it kind of disappeared.
Oh, when you walked in there?
Well, yeah, I think I was going to go. I was going to go back out there and
You know,
confront them, and they were like gone.
what's amazing to me is that they will go off about white supremacists, and then as soon as a couple other more melanin appropriate people walk in,
Melanin positive.
I was going to say more melanin endowed people.
Yes.
Their true colors come out, and they either call you an Uncle Tom or some other derogative thing, or they back off because they realize how stupid they are. But they're so stupid many of the times they just. There was a recent black guy. I'm trying to think who it was.
What's the red
And they
sign?
they called him a white supremacist.
Oh, they do.
And he's like,
yeah.
"Are you kidding me? You dumb shits."
Are you a white supremacist, Norris?
Define white supremacist.
Nowadays, I'll tell you.
If anything, now
it has no meaning anymore.
when everybody's one up.
Apparently-
It's just like everybody
Let me give it a
that
stab.
if you are a quarter step to the right of Stalin or Marx, you're a right-wing extremist.
You are.
Yeah.
Right. Let me
Yeah.
give it a stab at it.
Go, Tim.
I think white supremacy now can be labeled on anyone who assists in perpetuating the systemic racism of the patriarchy. No matter what your color
You mean
or your
trannies?
skin is. Just what?
You mean trannies?
No, perpetuating
Why do they perpetuate the patriarchy?
How do they do that?
Because if men taking over women's spaces, that's the patriarchy.
Oh, that is.
You are good.
That is.
Hey, I do want to point out one more time on this. The person in the middle with the rainbow thing says hate has no home in Livco.
Livco, yeah.
Where's Livco?
Yeah, I don't know.
Might be
I've heard of Cutco.
Yes, I have.
I don't know where Livco
Let
is.
me get out of the way.
And they'll literally take that content and go, see, those people on their show, that podcast, are so dumb they don't know Livco means Livingston County.
Now, what's the red sign say? So what's the red sign say? Because apparently it was written by a fourth grader.
The D's falling off the page.
Yeah.
The grand new party equals white supremacy.
Oh, interesting.
So I often do this myself, so I won't be overly critical. But I love the interplay of the capital and lowercase letters throughout the whole font of it.
Oh, it's where they capitalize the first letter of each word.
No.
I don't
There's
see.
SU capital P. Then there's a lowercase r that's the same height as the P. And then there's a capital A.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we're not saying that. Okay. Thinking ahead of how much space you would need on a sign, let alone actually having. Well, I mean,
Did you say something about think?
Yeah, I know. Thinking ahead.
Okay,
Sorry. I actually do like the penmanship of the blue sign. That's actually pretty well.
That one is done. That one's some nice block
Right.
letters.
Yeah.
The blue sign. You see
You
it?
know, and I wasn't thinking when I walked in. I should have went up behind a kitty cat and went rum, rum.
Hey, read that again, Larry. Read it again. On the very bottom of your page.
Oh,
Norris wasn't
Yeah.
here for the announcement.
Oh, that's true.
oh,
Yeah.
that's great. It says no cat with 9 lives should feel threatened until they get down to 1 or 2 lives left.
Yes.
So I mean, this whole thing got blown way out of proportion. If you've still got, 7, 8 lives,
Yeah,
and I mean,
and
Get over yourself.
If you don't realize white supremacy is dead, and when it was alive, it was Democrat, then you are a
Well, that was the
flaming-
other thing I was going to
you
go
are
out
a
and say.
flaming retard.
I was
at
definitely going to
this
make that
point.
because
Yeah.
because I think I was talking to somebody. I said, if anything, the Democrat Party owes the black people reparations.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that crap they do.
So Jeremy,
that's exactly right.
I texted you some.
No, you
images.
did not.
I did.
Did you
Check
send
your-
me a link?
link?
Yeah, for the show.
I did not. I
What?
haven't had an opportunity.
Wasn't that the first Zelda?
You've had plenty of opportunities
Link.
taking all your time. Pre-show planning.
Pre-show planning 10 seconds after we start. What else did you send me, Larry? Oh, you sent me this.
Yes.
Great.
So
I wanna read-
everybody. I
read-
want everybody to see what's
Oh,
going
I got
on.
that from Trejo too.
Yeah.
In fact, did you start it? You didn't start at the beginning. I'm going to Trejo's.
You're going to Trejo's?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
What is that? What was that?
They went spastic in their little.
Yeah, the 2 left-wing extremist hate groups in Livingston County.
What are those things?
the screenshots?
No, the so-called groups.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
this one. All right. So let me start with this one. Let me see if this is the right order.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the urgent call to action.
Right.
I checked my buttons to see if they were working and they're not working.
Well, what am I supposed to do about
Why
it?
do I feel like the alien in that show?
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. Why, dickhead?
What'd you do that for?
I didn't do that. That's why I go to that page and then I switch with the buttons and it didn't work. Okay. Anonymous participant posted in the stand against extremists. What is their total name?
Stand against extremism. So stand and then against AG and then E for extremism. They should be standing against themselves.
Yeah. Because anybody who
I need another
pretends they're a cat is pretty damn extreme in my book.
Hey, it's the best candidate they can raise in Heartland to go against West.
Or mentally.
Let's see. Urgent call to action. What? They did the typical what, where, when, why, how.
Mm-hmm.
Last night. What's the voice I got to use? This has got to be a really screechy kind of Hillary Clinton. Could I do that? Kamala Harris? No, this is an angry one, so it's got to be. It's got to be Hillary, right? I don't know. It's got to be angry. Last night, the Opera House in Hull, Last night, the Opera House in Howell rented their space to a white supremacy hate organization, the Grand New Party Political Action Committee, which was hosting a fundraiser in support of America First extremist candidates. There's more in the comments. Sources have indicated that the Grand New Party PAC may have misrepresented their true intentions. What are your sources? Cite your sources, retards. Misinterpreted the Opera House officials that the event was a fundraiser to support their white supremacist organization. No, they actually, unlike you on the left, they did what they actually said they were going to do at the event. Norris, Larry, you were there?
Yes.
Did they do what they said they were going to do at the event?
Yippee-ki-yay.
What did they say they were going to
Is
do?
Wes Oriental?
Oriental?
Does he have Oriental origins, like ancestry?
Japan,
I don't know.
I think.
Don't think.
I'm just asking
Yeah.
rhetorically because
I mean, he might have been born
wasn't
in
he one
America.
of the commissioners they honored?
Yes.
Last
White
I checked.
supremacist.
Yes.
Oh.
Instead, the Grand New Party represented the event as an awards ceremony for Livingston County Sheriff Murphy and the county commissioners, of which Wes Nakagiri is one of them.
Well, and who was a sponsor?
What?
Who was a sponsor of that? It said it.
Wes sponsored and white supremacist?
And who else?
Oh my! Who else?
The lady that's running for committee woman.
Hema,
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember her name.
a Christian Indian from India, immigrant,
Wow.
business owner.
Imagine that. Wow.
These are all extremist people.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should just sit in our basement and criticize those who are actually doing something good for the country. Anyways, I don't want to read the whole article or the whole post, but it's an urgent call to action. What's the call to action, you would ask? The urgent call to action is right here. Oh, fucking.
That's okay. I wasn't on it.
All right, go back.
What was that?
How do we get this urgent call to action? You bully them.
Yeah.
You don't stand on your actual arguments. You bully them. That's what Stand Against Extremism is telling to do, is to bully the Opera House.
Right.
There was nothing white supremacist at the meeting.
Nope.
It never has been.
There were mixed racial group, maybe minorly mixed racial group, but it was not a group that was in any way, not only not opposed to the attendance of people of all races, creeds, and colors. It wasn't white supremacist, but that's how you want to paint it because that fits your narrative of being a victim and somehow finding your little niche of oppression. So what Sage wants to do is email the Opera House and insist that their policy be created to ensure that hate groups are not welcome. So I guess you want a policy to not let you go
Yeah, exactly.
because you're the hate group. You're the one who faked Nazi. People like you are the ones who faked Nazi hate symbols.
And they're also the ones that want to mutilate and poison kids.
No, Norris, you went too far.
Oh,
No,
darn.
that's too far. I was looking for voice examples for you. I'm not sure if I found a good one.
Of Hillary
Can
Clinton?
be considered as
And
a whole
murder
setup,
babies,
right?
you know, but
Be like
that goes
No,
without
it's
saying.
a guy doing a female voice. I thought it was.
the choir.
I was looking for.
We came,
Full
he saw, he died.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Wasn't sure.
It's
All right, can I be done with that?
You can.
Thank you. All right, so those on the right there, we know what is actually going on. The Grand New Party, they're doing some good work. They're trying, and we know Shane Trejo has been on the show before.
Wait a minute. What's his name?
Shane Trejo.
What's his last name?
Trejo.
Trejo. Is that Mexican?
Trejo.
What a white supremacist
He must.
Darn.
he
Who'd have
is.
thunk?
Who'd have thought?
I mean, I didn't even see it.
Oh, hey, yeah.
I didn't even see that this white supremacy group was run by a Latino descent person, a person of Latino descent.
That's crazy.
I did not.
Speaking
see it
of
coming.
speaking of
Caught me by surprise.
races, do you have an order for our clips tonight? We can start with the black clip.
Oh,
We could.
what that's all.
Let's yeah.
I'm loading them. Just tell
You
me.
know, we're just gonna jettison.
We have
gonna,
black shoe, pedo, slutkin. What do you, how do you want the order?
let me see what I got on my list. Let me see what I got on my list.
Yeah, I want to wait on that.
You want to wait on that
We
one?
have a black shoe, pedo,
Let's do
slutkin.
let's do the
'Cause
Whitmer.
I want Kelly to comment on.
Let's do the Whitmer retardation.
Heil Wittmer.
Heil Wittmer. Let's do the Whitmer retardation news. We have that news clip from the news group.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, and a matter of fact,
I have 4 clips. On my short one, is that what you're taking? And you're asking for clip 5, and I don't have it? Is that what you're saying?
I thought I sent it to you.
yeah, in a matter of fact, the
me look.
idiots,
Go to
the
Larry.
idiots in that group. If you read all of that,
Which one?
the screenshot, the group's.
You
what's
said
the
idiot. Which one?
say? Well, yeah, the idiots in the group. They mentioned in their justification for these harassing emails to bully the Opera House. They mentioned the fake FBI staged Whitmer.
Oh, they
kidnapping
did
plot.
mention that. And we
Yes,
had
they
those
did.
guys. We had 3 of those gentlemen on the
yeah.
show.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
they're still pretending that was real.
Well, Pelosi invoked the Russia collusion
Right.
today.
I don't even want to hear anything they have to say after they supported J6. They can kiss my ass.
Yeah, I mean, these people are dumb as a bag of rocks. But I'll tell you what, if Trump's an insurrectionist, and so is Whitmer and Tlaib, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
That side is the insurrection.
Sure.
This BLM,
They had
Antifa, the Summer of Love was insurrection all the way.
they had a whole
That is
document.
what that was the insurrection.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was
nothing
the
but
insurrection.
It
insurrection
was.
after insurrection.
That
Well,
was
we're
the
continuing
They
with
took
the-
over. Would they take over Seattle for 90 days?
Yeah.
Took over Seattle, whatever
Yeah,
towns.
yeah, they were
Did you grab
burning
something
and
to eat
looting.
before you came up?
Huh?
Were you good?
What?
Did you grab something to eat before you came up?
I kind of ate before I got here, so
Isn't that what BLM means?
Just checking.
What?
Burn, loot, and murder.
or buying large mansions. Which one? Take your pick.
Buying large matches
In white neighborhoods.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you
Holy
know,
cow.
actually, they just attacked Democrat cities. There wasn't any Republican cities attacked.
Well, because they know they'd have got their asses kicked.
Yeah.
Larry, you want fake news?
So I got the five clips, and the climate one was the one I was going to use at break. Other than that, I don't have a 6th clip.
Shiitake mushroom.
Yeah, I got the black pedo
What?
slutkin shoe.
What? Are you talking about? What?
A black pedo slutkin shoe.
Mm.
And
I'll have
then,
to see what this one is.
Yeah.
All right, let me
yeah, if you got it, you pull that one.
let me
Whatever
grab that
you
one
want.
real quick because it's
What was it about? You were talking about.
well,
News.
you know, along with all of the stupidity
Sure.
going on in our world today,
Mm.
our brilliant how do I slander her in such a way? I'm
Got a
just suspect that
flagpole
she might
going
not.
in. Mm.
She might not.
Oh,
Our
jeez. Yeah.
What?
You know,
Our,
she's-
illustrious
Yeah.
governor.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
All right, here it is, and then I'll play the clip right here. In
So
the
they're
thing.
pulling the Boston,
Yeah,
trying to pull
it's-
the Boston.
It's actually unbelievable how stupid that woman is.
And I'll make sure I'll try to we'll see if it goes from my thing. So anyways, here's the title of this from InfoWars. Governor Whitmer calls on Michiganders to house illegal migrant invasion crisis as the crisis worsens.
Well, I think
We
she should set the example and then start herself. Oh, but they'll never do that.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Doesn't she have a guest house?
Yeah, she's probably got a guest house. She could, I mean, and you
No,
know, like they
I-
did in Boston. What was it? What they housed a couple of them in
Well,
New
why
York
do
and stuff, and they
illegals
said,
need
"Look,
to
I
be-
got somebody to cook for me now.
I don't know.
And clean the house."
I don't understand why they're not migrants for one. They're
No.
illegal aliens.
Yep.
They entered this country illegally. They
True.
invaded through the southern border.
Ah,
They
called
are
breaking
illegal
the law.
aliens.
Dropping some
And
truth.
They are criminals.
They are
man,
criminals.
you guys are just
Yeah,
bigots.
So these
Thank you.
criminals, as soon as these criminals come in across our border,
Yeah.
the Biden administration is there giving them $5,000 to $10,000 gift cards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Giving
they're-
them free airfare to anywhere they
Come,
want to go.
more of you
Yeah.
come.
So
Come
he
be
is-
Democratic voters.
So there's grounds right there to impeach
Come-
Biden
come.
aiding and abetting criminals.
And fulfill the replacement theory.
Well, you know,
Well,
they
yeah,
need enough votes.
replacing all the Americans
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
illegals.
Coffee, send me that picture you just sent in text. Send it on Facebook so I can post it. So Gretchen Whitmer called on residents of her state to house illegal aliens amid the unprecedented invasion of migrants into America. Well, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
why stop them at the border? Just open up your house,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I saw a good meme today. I don't think I downloaded it, but it was pretty funny. You guys will get the joke even without the picture for it. But it said, do you know why you can go and visit animals at the zoo?
No way.
Give you one guess. Walls. You can go visit the animals at the zoo because they all have walls around them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're not just roaming in the street eating your
Mhm.
children.
You mean like Nancy
What a-
Pelosi's house has a wall around it?
or like
A double wall.
or like Congress had walls around it during
Yeah.
In not
fake
what
Fake
what-
insurrection,
what we had a word for it.
inauguration,
No, it was ignoration.
ignoration. Yes.
walls were good then. They sold this when they thought there
Well,
was
Barack Obama has a wall around his house.
all of them
He's
have
only 1
walls
foot
out.
above sea level,
Yeah.
though. That's just to keep the squid out if it gets flooded during climate change.
Yeah, yeah. See, isn't that so
Yeah,
funny? They all believe so much in climate change that they buy a beach house.
Well, this is my whole thing about climate change. and
We're all gonna die. We're gonna get flooded out. Hold on, I want that beach house
Okay.
right there.
because
what's the view?
I had to take this training, and I swear I was going to strangle the freaking professor because he went on and on about the whole indoctrination,
He's-
climate change bullshit. That's like
Not even 9
I
o'clock
turned
yet.
it
Watch
off.
the language. Let's go now.
I turned it off because I couldn't take it anymore. But I said, none of you assholes believe this because none of you are living it.
Right.
Right.
You
That's
know?
exactly it.
When you believe it,
Yeah.
then I'll take you somewhat seriously. But in the meantime, never.
I didn't pull it up because there's so much stuff to cover tonight.
You
We
mean
gotta-
Al Gore's a hypocrite because
Yes,
of his
he's
jet?
Every last one of them
Yeah.
are hypocrites,
Uh,
including
I-
Klaus Schwab.
I didn't pull it up because we got a lot to cover, but I will say this. There's somebody that on the left that just put out a huge hit piece video against a whole bunch of leftists who are preaching to everybody about climate change and then
Oh.
getting in their jets and
Yeah.
popping all over the place. But it was a leftist person. The right, we've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
But this was a leftist person going, come on, guys, if we're actually going to do this, you can't be
Calling out the hypocrisy.
you can't be doing this
you
shit.
can't be you can't fly from
Yeah.
Japan to Las Vegas to watch a football game.
Right.
I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Let's play
Who would
this.
do
Let's
that?
play this, and we'll move on from Gretchen Whitmer wanting us to house illegal egg. Yes.
The state is looking for volunteers to support refugees.
Yeah, the Office of Global Michigan is looking
Who the hell
for
are these
residents
people?
to provide support to
TV12,
newly
dang.
arrived refugees. And this includes meeting the person or the family at the airport, helping find housing, enroll children in school, and help with finding employment for adults. Now, the Michigan Department of Labor and Economics says it requires a 90-day commitment. To learn more about the program, visit michigan.gov/OGM.
It's almost over. It's 28 seconds.
So this is what you do.
No.
You sign up for
You
this,
get money.
and then you go get like one of them real long extended Ford E350 vans. You go pick up 15 of them, tell them to get in, help them with their luggage. You take them to New York City.
Yeah, but we're boycotting any deliveries to New York City right now.
Not that one.
No, we'll send this one right through.
Yeah, that's what I'll go through. Number 2 on my list is our very own representative here in the formerly great state of Michigan, Alyssa. How do you say Alyssa?
Slutkin.
Slut.
Slut. Oh.
What's the lineup so I can actually put them in? Because I have to load them here.
Ammo.
Who's after what?
Ammo.
Ammo.
Ukraine ammo.
No, yeah, that's
Oh,
yes,
Slotkin.
that's
Oh,
one.
you're asking me what the lineup is after that?
Yes, because I have slots here. I want to put them in, so I don't have to wait.
Let's see.
The shoe.
The
black
shoe is in
shoe.
the brain freeze. We jumped ahead with the opera. That's what screwed it up.
Yeah, I know.
I've got the alphabet mafia and their pedophilia.
Okay,
That's
I'll put
that's
that second then.
Yeah,
like
that's
every-
after the Slotkin,
That's
and then
every day.
after the Slotkin,
Okay.
we have the media bias over the Trump shoes, and then the truth about police violence.
the Trump
Okay.
shoes.
All right, shoes.
There's my. We're gonna work on that. We'll start numbering them, and then punch Larry every time he wants to deviate
So
from my number.
again, on just going
Right.
back to the Whitmer thing right quick.
Yeah.
Right quick before a
When you live it,
clip.
then it will take you seriously.
Right. It's like just as simple as Bill Gates. Bill Gates, you want to lower the CO2 by lowering the population. Lead
Start
by
with
example.
yourself.
Yeah.
Just lead by example.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, they're doing the MAID, MADE, medical
So
assisted
you're saying
dying,
Bill Gates should just
uh,
hold his breath?
MAID, medical assistance in dying. That's the program in Canada.
Yep.
And if you were just simply a burden on society,
Yes.
Ah.
Really?
then they talk you into taking.
Killing
Oh yeah,
yourself.
they've had to actually come out and repeal it because, or not repeal it, but publicly
Dial it back a little bit.
dial it back because they realize they're just offing people because they're an
Yeah.
inconvenience.
Well,
Allah,
Not that
Nazis.
probably
well, you got to remember.
probably more polar bears than people in Canada now at this point.
You got to remember about our socialist neighbors to the north. I mean, they throw ministers in jail for preaching scripture.
That's their
true.
government, just
Yes.
like our government has
So-
become more and more opposed to freedom. But let's look at this. Our illustrious representative here, Alyssa Slotkin, she's more worried about getting ammo to Ukraine because that's bad if we don't have ammo in Ukraine.
You mean the ammo shortages that we're experiencing because we're giving it all to Ukraine?
Oh no, you've got red flag laws, and she's very pissed that we haven't enforced all the red flag laws and that we're bucking the red flag.
Oh, you mean like in where was that? That's just recently. Oh,
Yeah.
in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Where they have do they not have red flag laws there? And the guy went and shot 2 cops and a paramedic.
Yes.
And this guy had a violent record.
They all
Miles
got,
long.
dude.
Well, I know that. I mean,
A leopard don't change its stripe.
we know
its
that, but
spots
I'm
or
just
whatever
saying.
the fuck it's got. It doesn't change.
You
Oh, I'm 10 minutes early. My bad. But Norris already cracked
I
the
know.
lid on that.
what did I
Show me
crack
the
the
crack.
lid
You
on?
already
Yeah.
dropped an F-bomb at
Did I get ahead of
15
sorry.
minutes
Ahead of
till
it.
9.
Yeah, family friendly
All right,
show.
I know it's going to be grating. We're going to have to deal
All right,
through
let's
her voice.
suffer
Just-
through this.
Okay.
Harpy.
Try to make it.
Really? Do we have to?
Try to make it
Yeah.
all.
All right, let's
Try to make it all the way through
try to
Here we
maintain our
go.
composure, not comment until we're all the way through.
and breathe.
I need a drink.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
Oops, crap.
And I'm trying to push play, and of course it doesn't play.
Damn it.
There it goes. Where's the audio on that?
There it is.
Our best guess is that the Ukrainians could run out of ammunition in the spring. Our best guess is that they will be out of missile defense capability to protect places like Kyiv from ballistic missiles probably by the summer. You should expect massive refugee flows. The grain deal that we have on the table to continue to get grain out of Ukraine could fall apart, and then you could see food prices spike across the world. You're just going to see more territory taken by Putin, and that territory can project into NATO countries. And I don't know why anyone would say he's done after he's gone into Ukraine. I do think he's hedging and wanting to see if Donald Trump wins the election. My sense is Donald Trump would hand the keys over to Putin.
Unbelievable.
That is Alyssa Slotkin, who is a representative for the United States, far more worried about ammo to Ukraine in Kiev, which was called Kiev forever, but now somebody is calling
Kyiv or whatever.
Kyiv because that's the way we want to pronounce it now, where they have a president who used to be a male, a gay actor who played piano with his penis. Now we want to make sure we got ammo going over there, but
one of the most corrupt countries around.
while she's simultaneously upset that we're not enforcing red flag laws here in our state.
Yeah. What instances are we speaking of here?
We want to arm the Nazis in Ukraine.
Yep.
The vast majority of if you don't know this, guys, I'm sorry. There are some people I know you still may think that Ukraine has a battle against the evil Russians. The largest population of not neo-Nazis, of the descendants of Nazis who are still fully indoctrinated in the Nazi mindset is in
Ukraine.
Yep.
And we've been giving them money, billions of dollars, in a proxy war against Vladimir Putin, who, love him or hate him, is actually trying to help his people live better lives.
And he's not a threat to us.
Nothing.
They say, oh, but he's going to be right on the doorstep of the NATO. NATO's been on that doorstep forever.
And he said to them, as long as you keep NATO, as long as you don't let anybody else join NATO, we're good.
I mean, but the point is, what is he going to do anyway? He can't even defeat fucking Ukraine. So I'm not really worried about Russia.
Well, all the reports coming out.
Minus actual nukes, but outside of nukes, I'm not worried about it.
The news coming out right now is they're gonna force a settlement because he's pretty much defeated him. But our Western media won't put that out.
Don't care.
Right, exactly. The green cartoon guy, who is that? A couple of years ago, Slutkin was in Howell's 4th of July parade, and everybody around me was flipping her off. Coffee, everybody around you flips everybody off. That's just the crew you run with. You know that, buddy.
True that.
That is true. That is true. We discussed the extremism at the Howell Opera House, which was actually the 4 retards out front. And on another note, the demons are coming. I didn't pull this clip, but there is quite a whack job of demonic activity that is coming, that's manifesting.
I mean, besides what's already there? In addition to what's already there?
Oh, no. Yeah. I'm saying
actual literal manifestations.
Actual little manifestations. Oh, Mr. Coffee wanted to share this with us. I will endeavor to actually go to I'm hitting my buttons. Why are they not working?
I was waiting for something on the wall. I thought maybe you were trying to say you put something up, but I didn't see nothing.
I'm pushing the button, and I checked to see if my shortcuts were working before the show.
What's wrong with
They were, but
Yeah.
now they're not.
It's not playing.
Did I not run the
There it is.
listener? That's weird. It's running a little slow.
That's weird.
It is. There we go. See it?
Black rifles matter. That is so true.
Quite a white supremacist, racist
That is
type of fellow there.
true.
Mr. Coffee.
Yeah, that's right, because Democrats hate black rifles. And black people, for that matter of fact.
They do. Didn't Hillary
Look
Clinton say we got to
look at all their policies.
Didn't Hillary Clinton say that she wanted to bring all those?
But
Black.
you're not black if you don't vote for Joe Biden.
This is true.
True.
Damn.
No, you might be. You might not know you are. That's what he said.
Oh, if you don't know whether you vote for me or Donald Trump, you might not be black. I just said,
So let me see. So he's the bouncer for that, huh? Okay, yeah, I got it. Mhm.
Well,
He can't even bounce himself across the room, much less anything else.
poor people just as smart as white people.
Yep.
Those are all quotes
He said that once.
from the dear leader.
And I had these terrible headaches, was diagnosed with having anyway, they had to take the top of my head off a couple times, see if I had a brain.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no brains left in it.
I want to see if this clip is because I didn't get it to Tim, but now that we're talking about it, Tim should be pretty used to me because I just grab stuff on the fly. Yeah, it's really whacked out, dude. The one video was so disturbing. I didn't know if I wanted to even think about it, but they're
Ugh, what the hell?
yeah. It comes in. I mean, these people are
Disgusting.
exactly.
Demonic.
They are demonic, and they're going through some very demonic machinations. Let's go this way. I'll keep scanning through this and see if I can find it, because there's a literal lady. There's like this whole collage video of people that are. You can see that they're demon possessed, and they're coming up to people. This one lady, she just knocks on this dude's door, and she's like, "I was looking for you," and he's like, "For what?" And she's like, "Because I think you're you're handsome. And he's like, okay, you got the wrong address. She's like, no, I don't. I've got the right place. I want to sleep with you.
Get off my porch now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this other chick is outside of a fence and this dude's videotaping her. She's literally on the other side of a fence. And her eyes are full, wide open, bug out. And she's just trying to get at him. Not viciously, but just psychopathically. And it's just like, what the hell is going on? And so I wanted to tell everybody, the demons are coming. And just as I started this spiritual warfare series on Sunday morning, this past Sunday morning, I will be teaching a private, not aired. We'll videotape it, but I'm not going to air this teaching. But I will do at least a single, probably a workshop on how to confront demons. Because in Western society, there is no such thing as demon possession. You just need another drug, a pharmakia, which is witchcraft and sorcery. Pharmakia, that's where we get that word pharmacy, and the big pharma. And so they want to drug people, drug the physical form, versus casting out demonic oppression that people have given into. I've cast out a number of demons in my day. That's not a badge of honor. It's just something you have to do when you want to see somebody's soul liberated from an oppression that they allowed themselves to be controlled by. But I've been in those situations, and it's not the Hollywood bullshit that you see. It is very simple.
Holy water and spinning heads.
Yeah, that is meant to make you afraid of the demon and make you afraid of the devil and make you afraid of all that and think that you are powerless. And that's not the truth. So,
what the hell was that?
Well, you want to include the rest of the children on your?
No.
I mean,
we're just trying to do
a show here, Larry.
Larry?
Did he not? Did now you see it?
What? Yeah. What he's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Inside joke for all you people, because Larry doesn't like to share.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. And the fact that he had to take Showtime to point something out like that was.
Are we talking about the? Oh yeah, Mr. Coffee said I saw that shit on Infowars. It's crazy. Yeah, the
which one?
The demon video on Infowars. Joni's wondering if she can count them as dependents. Are we talking about the illegals that you're supposed to house, Joni?
Larry, we're doing a show. Come on now.
Are you with me over here?
Brushing the teeth.
Are you here?
Sorry, I was laughing.
Okay.
That's a toothbrush.
Listen, I titled the show tonight, and I want to do this because there's a lot of factioning out there. There's a lot of people. Listen, I'm going to give you my philosophy, and I'm going to tell you how it works. But I'm going to read the quote first. This is from Ronald Reagan. The person who agrees with you, and I had it pulled up. It's fine. I don't want to.
Actually, you didn't do disclaimers around the table either.
No, we just fast forward. We're actually making really good time.
Yeah, I know we are.
The person who agrees with you 80% of the time,
right.
80% is a friend or an ally.
80%?
80% is a friend or an ally.
Both. A friend and an ally.
That's what it says. Is. This is a Ronald Reagan quote. The person who agrees with you 80% of the time is a friend or an ally, not a 20% traitor.
Oh, right.
Not a 20% traitor.
20% enemy is
Or
not
20% enemy, or
exactly.
is still an 80% friend.
So there are times when Larry says rhino.
Yeah.
There are times when other people say globalist. There are other times when people say extremist. Something, and I go, okay, I understand that. That is the initial response. But when you take a minute and you assess that person and where they stand, if they're 80% with you, and this is Reagan's numbers.
the totality.
If the totality of their lifestyle, of their ideology, of their heart, of their personality is 80% in agreement with you, they're a friend and an ally. We had a president who was part of our party stand up before Congress and say, if you're not with us, then you are with the terrorists.
Yep.
That left no room for me to disagree with his foreign policy. It meant that I had to be 100% Heil Hitler, on his policy of
Mhm.
leveling a country that they later laughed about having weapons of mass destruction that never had weapons of mass destruction, while
I wouldn't-
Madeleine Albright
I-
said
Yeah,
that
they actually did find weapons.
no,
of
no, no. He
destruction.
joked about it and said, "Where are those weapons? Where are those?
Huh?
Oh, not over here, not over there."
You want me to pull it up and show you?
You can pull it up and show me, but the thing is,
They
they
did
said
find,
14.
They didn't
They
find
said
stockpiles.
they said 14
Mhm.
Saudi Arabians
Mhm.
out of the 19 terrorists were 14 of the terrorists, or out of the 19 terrorists that took down the towers,
We didn't
according
do
to their
anything,
official story,
Uh-huh.
14 were Saudi Arabians.
Mhm.
Did we do
And
anything to Saudi Arabia?
like
No,
do
we
it-
staged a battle, and we did Bush Jr. finishing the job that his father started, taking out Saddam, who was a CIA asset
Mhm.
that turned on them and wanted to go back to a gold standard in Iraq. The reality is they murdered 1 million people in that country in the name of liberating it.
Well, here's the bigger problem for me is beyond that, is that by taking out Saddam, he created a bigger problem in the Middle East, because the one thing that Saddam did was keep Iran in check.
Yes.
Yeah.
So by taking taking Saddam out, Iran had unfettered access to the Middle East at that point.
Right.
Exactly.
So to me, that is the bigger problem.
That is one of the bigger problems.
That is the bigger fuck up in this
Yeah,
whole thing.
I've watched too many generals that come and they say they were told within days of the tower attack that they had 5 countries that they were going to attack. That they were going to strategically attack 5 different countries: Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Syria, and one other one.
Wasn't that
It had
in
nothing to
the-
do with the attack
yeah,
on 9/11.
Wasn't that laid out? Did you ever see, was it a series or a movie called Vice?
Was that what it's called?
Shrek. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was called Vice.
But either way, no matter how you slice it or where you fall on that thing, I was told by my president that I believed in, that if I didn't stand 100% with his foreign policy, that I was with the terrorist, aiding and abetting the terrorists. They passed the
The
Patriot Act, which is the most abhorrent,
Yeah, that's
one of the most abhorrent documents.
Yeah, there was
yeah,
nothing.
that was
patriot
talking
about
about an
it.
abridgment of liberties.
Exactly.
They pulled a
Yeah.
Democrat on that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
was that when they started naming things the opposite of what they were?
They've been doing that for a long time.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you're right. So I just all this bullshit that they keep doing, where we've got to be 100%. Either you agree with me 100%, and then I challenge everybody out there. Listen, go look at yourself 5 years ago, 10 years ago,
Oh yeah.
and tell me you can agree with yourself 10 years ago at 80%.
Mhm. I used to
There you
like
go.
the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
Right?
Say what?
He used to like the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah, well, I never go that far, but
But I know people that have made
They went woke and went broke.
I know people that have made dramatic, radical changes in their lives
Hmm?
Oh, absolutely.
who wouldn't agree with themselves from 5 to 10 years ago. And if you don't agree with yourself 5, 10 years ago, get off your fucking high horse about the other person that you're looking at, that you might have a 20% disagreement with, and calling them whatever name you want. The reason that the left keeps winning and beating us is because we'll disagree on 2% of a problem
That fracture.
Yep.
instead of agreeing on the 70, 80% that we agree on and uniting on that. I know there are a bunch of people that come from different backgrounds we've had people on this show that I got turned around and half my audience says, oh, they're part of this, the establishment, or they're part of the globalists, or they're part of this. Okay, but what did they say on the show? In our conversation on the show, was the 90% of the conversation in line with our values?
Yep.
Then why are we doing this? Because the left will get united with cat ears and cutting little kids' penises off.
Yep.
And we're fighting over
They keep,
gnat shit in pepper.
they will make sure that everybody, all their soldiers are in line. There is no dissension allowed.
Right.
Everybody falls in line. They get together. They see the common goal and they go for it. Whether they disagree on everything is not the issue.
And
The issue is getting Democrats elected so they can push through that damn agenda.
exactly. And I'll tell you this, I endured this. I'm a little passionate about it because I endured this in church for years. I've been in and out of church since I was 10 years old. My mom was raised Catholic. She walked away from the Catholic Church because she felt it was a lot of bullshit. And at the age of 9 or 10, I was introduced back into church, and then shortly after my parents actually started going to church with a place where I had gone, doing Bible study and stuff like that. Actually, I went as a little kid to a couple different vacation Bible study type things. But either way, been in and out of church for most of my life. And I have watched the pathetic, sad disagreements between Christians who call Christ their Savior, who say that Jesus is the only way, fight over the minuscule, insignificant, and it's in the scriptures. Tim can even look up the reference if he wants to. It says, have no disagreement over disputable matters. It is unprofitable. And yet people keep going to this.
I don't like your shirt.
Thank you.
I don't like the color of your carpet.
It only has the same zipper style as yours. Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's because I don't have a vest over top of it.
I was making an example.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you guys out there is, and our audience, the vast majority of our audience knows
Welcome.
this. You know what? Just we got to stop fighting amongst ourselves. If you disagree with somebody, go to them one-on-one. It's what scripture says. Have a conversation.
Stop airing your dirty laundry out in public.
But when I hear somebody say that they don't like, and they just slander somebody and just hack somebody up, and I go, okay,
Not productive.
you may be right. But you know what Jesus said? A bruised reed I will not break, and a smoldering wick I will not snuff out. And when he was baptizing, or not him, but his disciples were baptizing, and a whole other group were baptizing in his name, his group of disciples went to them and told them to stop. And they came back and felt like they were patted themselves on the chest. Jesus, we found these other people, they were baptizing in your name, but they weren't with us.
Yeah.
Right. You also got to realize, though, it's one thing to disagree with somebody on petty issues, but if you have somebody that's actually going against the Republican platform,
agreed,
then
that's
the rhino.
But here's the thing.
But even then, let's look at it this way. Okay, that may be the case. We might have some disagreement on a couple of major issues,
right?
But we still can work together on some of the other issues that we agree upon to get that agenda pushed forward.
If you're voting, if you're
if it's blatant,
right,
if it's blatant, I mean, if you're voting with the LGBTQ, or you're voting for gun rights,
correct?
That's huge.
Correct.
I mean, those are fundamentals.
If you're a Republican and you're voting for open borders,
yes,
then
we've also had people on the show, Larry, that explained why they have voted for certain things or why they didn't, because they have put shit in these omnibus bills.
I agree. There's
that
some
were
issues.
beneficial to their area.
Yeah.
And they had to either disappoint their constituents on that issue, or vote by voting against the whole thing, or vote for the whole thing to get their constituents what they actually wanted, and vote in a whole bunch of other bullshit.
I have the verse.
Right.
But
what's the verse, Tim?
It's Titus 3:9 NIV.
Please read it.
But avoid foolish controversies and genealogies and arguments and quarrels about the law, because these are unprofitable and useless.
Thank you. That is awesome. Now here's one other verse. Hopefully you can look it up. This is a quote from Jesus, and he said, I said the president, right? Our Republican president after 9/11, if you're not with us, then you're with the terrorists.
Right.
So I can't disagree with him on any foreign policy, anything he does, even though we know that the robot Dick Cheney was doing most of the hierarchy up there, doing most of the leading of the thing. Here's what Jesus actually said. Jesus said, if they're not against us, then they're for us. That's a totally different dichotomy. Jesus said, look, if they're not actually opposing you, why pick a fight with them?
Yeah.
And I see this all over the place. We're picking fights with people who aren't there's some shitheads in our groups. Okay? You call them out one-on-one. You call them out every once in a while in public. All right? You get that going. I understand that completely. I've been there, done that. But if they're not actively opposing you, and you've heard this or saw that or did this or did that, okay, if they vote against the bill, I agree with you 100%. Larry, you call their office, and that's what you've done. You've called their office,
Mark 9.
and then you've called them out. Mark 9, please read it.
Mark, it's actually split up between 38 and through 41. Do not stop him, Jesus said, for no one who does a miracle in my name can in the next moment say anything bad about me, for whoever is not against us is for us.
So we've got people in our midst, and I'm trying to help people understand this. Look, if a person agrees with you 80% of the time, they're a friend, they're an ally. Why alienate them and treat them like a traitor on 20%? Because you knew good and well that 5 to 10 years ago, you may have well disagreed with yourself more than that 20%.
Yes, but it's about the life of a child in the womb. We can't stand together on that. That's one point right there.
Again, it's this narrow-minded things.
No, isn't that close to home?
It is.
That close to home?
No,
Yes.
I mean, you split where you need to split. There's no doubt about it, right?
Well, no, that's what he's just saying.
So,
No,
I mean,
you don't. You don't. Well, you mean split?
No, I mean, no.
Just agree to disagree.
I mean, you make your case. I mean, if that person decides to go that way on that issue,
yeah,
okay, we'll have to deal with that later. But I mean, but the point is, I'm not going to say, okay, you kiss my ass for the rest of my life if you agree with me on the tranny thing. If you agree with me on
correct,
this,
and we're not.
We can still work with those issues.
So
but I will work on you to get you right on this issue, on the major issue, right?
Right. Charlotte Cosmic says can't vote with Democrats. Absolutely, they're not 80% with us. That's my whole point. When I say 80% with us, the cognitive dissonance is not to recognize the 80%. They go, well, I'm not going to vote with Democrats and a bunch of trannies. They're not with you 80%.
Right.
The SAG, the extremist group that says they're against extremists, they're not 80% with you. I'm talking about walking into an environment where that person says they're Republican, America First. That person says they're Republican, maybe not quite America First, but they're going to vote for Trump because he's the nomination. Wow. And then we go, but well, you disagree with me 10%, so no, we can't work together. You're establishment. When I walked into the party, I was very novice. Knew there was establishment going on, knew there was grassroots going on. But I walked in the party with no blinders and then saw how petty all of this bullshit is and realized that every time we disagree with each other over the 5, 10, 15, 20%, we lose 100% to the Democrats, the leftist agendas. You want to know, here's my, and I'll let you say it. I'll tell you, you want to know, I love this quote from V for Vendetta. If you want to know, there are certainly people that are to blame, but if you want to know at the end of the day who the guilty party is,
sorry, wrong button.
Do you want to know why we don't have prayer in our schools anymore? Because of all the Christian denominations that wanted control of what that prayer might be. And they fought against each other. And then an atheist rose up and there was no united group to say, that's bullshit. We're not putting up with that. We're going to keep prayer, and whatever school denomination is and whatever that believer is that's teaching that class, they can pray whatever they believe is right according to the best of their ability, according to scriptures. They didn't unite on that. And the atheist walked in, one lady whose son is a Christian now and disavows what her mother did at the Supreme Court. But she walked in there as one person and got prayer taken out of all public schools. Because all the Christians had to be divided on their little doctrines and the way that we should, and the prayer that they should do, and all the other stuff. And you want to know who the guilty party is, why all the shit's happening in our schools? It's the Republicans. It's the conservatives. Because we will divide on 5%. We will divide over a little offense, over 5%, instead of coming together on the 80% that we agree.
Yep.
We would rather have enemies out of people who agree with us 80 to 90% of the time, while the people we would never agree with on anything, other than maybe breathing, run roughshod over all the shit that's going on.
I have a question, but Norris had something to say.
Go, Norris.
Yeah, so, and the bottom line is, do we want to win? This is what it's going to come down to.
Right.
Right now, at this point, we lost the House. We lost the Senate in the state.
Yeah.
And of course, we don't have the governorship.
Right.
And
she's wildly popular, according to the
so this is two things we have to consider when we are looking at candidates. One, we have to pick good candidates in the primaries. And when I say good candidates, I mean candidates that can win.
Right.
Now, that winnable candidate may not be 100% with you. I can guarantee you they won't be 100% with you. But can they win?
Right.
And then it's up to us after that point to put coercion on them, to put pressure on them to make sure they vote the right way. After we get them in. But the point is, if we don't get anybody in, it doesn't fucking matter. We get screwed by the Democrats no matter what. That's what's happening now. We are getting fucked by the Democrats.
But that's brilliant, Norris, what you just said. And Larry said it. Larry's told me multiple times people he didn't vote for in various areas. But once they got into office, he said, that's the person that got voted in. Okay, I'm with them. He doesn't say 100%, but he says they're the person in that group.
And you ride them like a racehorse.
I'm in there. Yeah. But then what you just said, Norris, is you hold their feet to the fire and you say, look, I agreed with you 80%, maybe 82%. This other 18%, do we take the time to articulate our position and share with them? Again, good Bible believing people out here. Scripture says if you got a problem with your brother, you go to him one-on-one. If he doesn't listen, you take somebody else with you. Then if they don't listen, you bring him before the congregation. We got keyboard warriors that are ready to just call out everything. That's why the left, they're going to do some stupid shit, and every once in a while we call it out. But I try very hard not to go after anybody personally. I want to put an idea out there. I want to shine a light, right? What does it say? Does Scripture say, let your light shine before men that it may be seen of them?
Well, we are the light unto the nation.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, why are we shining that light? We're letting them see what's going on. We're letting them do that, right? And let me read the Charlotte Cosmic. But that 20% now is red flag laws and abortions and hate crime bills, and rhinos did vote for that.
They would have got it either way.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. But the people that we agreed with 80% were not in control.
Right.
So when you say that the 20% of the people that were establishment or voted for these things, the reality is that our 80% agreements, we lost that battle. How do we know that elections are bullshit, were stolen, but how do we get all of these leftist people in office when we know that 20% of the population is actually not even 20% aligned with them?
People.
Well, there's enough. I'm going to say that, in my opinion, Michigan is a freaking blue state. Because I look at the statewide elections. Look at governor. I look at the Senate. Those are the statewide elections. Outside of districting, the state went blue. The state went for governor. The state went for Senate. We haven't had a Republican senator in how long now?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
stab now and stab me now.
So I mean, to me that is an indication of where the state is.
Okay.
That was even before they put marijuana and everything else on the ballot.
The only thing I'll disagree with you is that the wins that they get are by very slim margins.
That may be, but still.
And that is blue city control.
Absolutely.
The vast majority of the state. In fact, I heard Alex Jones was pontificating about some stuff today, and he said, do you know that California, actually, the vast majority of the population is more red than Texas?
Okay, I've had a question burning, and now I have 3 statements.
Go ahead.
Because the situation I've seen, let me go to the table cam so this isn't as weird of a shot. So a state is not red or blue because of the population of the amount of Democrats that are in it. The state is red or blue because of the ability of the conservative right to work together to keep it red. This is a red nation. The population of this country, if it were to work together properly, it would be a red nation. And I say this from my experience. I came from Oklahoma before being now in Michigan, but I was in Oregon before that. And even Oregon, between what you've heard from Portland, what you hear about Salem or whatever, the population that is the voting population in rural areas and all of Northern California, except for maybe Humboldt County, where they smoke a lot of pot, but it's a red nation. It's a red nation. And my question was, it was kind of a probing question of why are these arguments causing these divisions to a point that it's forcing the lack of control of being able to even muster a defense and have cohesiveness? Why are these arguments going this far? And it was kind of a rhetorical question, is because I know the answer is the cohesiveness of the left is based off of a level of fear of being accepted in a public forum. And there's a little thing that the right has that is an independence and not giving a fuck of what people think about us. So we're able to burn bridges a lot quicker on that 10 or 20%, but it destroys the ability to cohesively work together to battle on the bigger fronts. That's the difference between the conservatives. We actually have self-identities that are rooted in truth and we strongly believe, and the left understands their identity in their mindset is fluid, and it's what is determined by the social structure they're in and is foisted upon them. So they go a lot further to playing nice with others and not getting ousted or set aside because their biggest fear is not being accepted. And a lot of us conservatives don't care enough to play nice to be able to then serve the greater good or the bigger party, or to get over ourselves enough to be able to then combat on a bigger theater of war.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah,
I mean, and the other part of it is cult of personality.
It is cult of personality.
We got a bunch of people out there that are full of them fucking selves.
Yeah,
exactly.
And party be damned, right?
Yeah,
it's about me.
We had a great guest, and he said it's got to be people before the party.
Yeah.
People before politics.
People before politics, exactly right. And there's a couple of things I want to. I'm looking at some of the comments, and I see what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Here's two examples I want to give you guys, and then we're gonna go to break.
Now, I will agree with Charlotte about and that was the dumbest thing that the Republicans could have done in the House was removing Santos. That was mega stupid.
Right? Yes, right. No, I agree. There's a number of things that they do that are wrong. Okay, I get that. Here, listen. So I'm going to give you two examples. Okay, one I was meditating on all day because I knew this was the topic tonight, and I want to get people to understand this. Listen to my words. I'm quoting Reagan. Listen to his words. The person who agrees with me or agrees with you 80% of the time is a friend.
Oh, no, I'm not disputing what you're saying.
And an ally. No, I get that. But I'm seeing people are chiming in and saying, I won't vote with the Democrats. They don't agree with you 80%.
Yeah, we're not voting with the Democrats.
Well, this guy voted for a bunch of these other bills. Well, clearly he doesn't agree with you 80% if he's voting 50% of the time with Democrats. Right?
Yeah.
So why is that argument even why is that even brought up? Why is it brought up that I won't vote with Democrats or I won't vote for this guy who voted 50% of the time with Democrats? If they voted 50% with Democrats on bills that are clearly not Republican, that are not good issues, then they're not in the 80%.
Yeah. But then it comes down to their constituents to vote them the hell out.
Correct. So here's my thing. A person who agrees with you 80% of the time is a friend or an ally, not a 20% traitor. It is perception. How do I look at people? How am I perceiving people? Am I seeing this person as a threat to what Tim said, my independence, my I don't give a fuck attitude? Or do I see this person as somebody who's walking their journey and figuring it out for themselves? There are two examples. During World War II, the biggest threat in the world was the Axis powers, specifically the Nazis, Japan, and to a much lesser extent, the Mussolini in Italy for about 10 days. But we formed an alliance, treaties with Russia.
Of all people, right?
To fight against Nazi Germany. Okay? Now, Nazi Germany had a treaty with Russia that they broke. They had the treaty with them before the war started that they then broke and attacked. At that point, Russia came over and became our ally. I will tell you, and this is on record, look it up, Russia won World War II. People can disagree with me, but they put 20 million of their people.
They had a huge amount of people to suffocate
They suffocated and put them on the line.
Yep.
They devastated the Nazis who chose to fight on two fronts. Now, I don't take anything away from our brave, valiant soldiers, okay? But the Russians exhausted the Germans on the Eastern Front. and that allowed the Western Front to be attacked or to be victorious. You want to dispute with me? Then you've never watched historical. Ask Tim. Tim, how many times do I turn on?
I would say they had nothing to do with the Japanese side of it, so that was all us.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the Japanese were destroying themselves in China. They had,
overextended
and I'm not saying,
themselves.
they overextended themselves, and that's what all armies do. You've played Risk as a kid, right? We played Risk, game board Risk. Okay. You start in Indonesia, and the first place you got to go through is Asia. And if you can get from Indonesia into Asia and maintain it through the next round and not lose your territory and get your extra armies, then you can keep going. That's the biggest battle. That's why that board game is set up the way it is. Okay. My point being on this is that right after World War II, Russia became, as Churchill said, there was a Cold War that descended over Europe. Okay. But during the war, Russia was our ally. We're in a war for our children. We're in a war for the very soul of this nation. We're in a war over demonic forces that have inhabited trannies and drag queen people. And yet the wisest people on the right, the people who are supposed to have the most discernment, instead of focusing on the war in front of them, attack within, attack publicly without, and go after all sorts of people. I want people to build up such a vitriol against the actual people who are trying to destroy this country, instead of attacking the people that you disagree with on some issues, or that you think might have been a part of some organization at some point. If you agree with them 90% plus, or 80% plus, they are a friend. They're an ally. During World War II, the Russians agreed with us that Germany was the biggest threat. Do we agree that cutting children's genitals up is a bigger threat? Do we agree that illegal aliens coming across the border is a bigger threat? Then why are we fighting over this other stuff with people who 80% agree with us? I don't understand it. I've watched it within our party where people are attacking people within our party. And I'm to the point where I don't even want to be part of the party, because I'm like, if you guys don't act any different than a bunch of other faction, what's the quote from
Still screwing with that.
the group of from Braveheart, right? Braveheart is trying to unite the people. William Wallace is trying to unite the people against their actual enemy. And what is the one of his confidants, one of his soldiers? Look, he goes, a nest of scheming bastards who can't agree on the color of shit. All these lords and leaders of the Scottish Highlands he says, they're a nest of scheming bastards who can't agree on the color of shit, who will send their minions out to do their work, but don't have any skin in the game. That's what's going on. So I'm going to say to people out there, the quote from V for Vendetta, there are certainly people who are in charge that will be held accountable. But if you want to know who the guilty party is, you only need to look in the mirror. We are the ones who are willing to divide on the stupidest, insignificant shit against people who have never attacked you, who have never went against you, who have never...
Just looking at the comments.
So. Yeah. Do we need to read a couple?
Yeah, probably.
All right. And I'm going to finish. This is my second point. And we're coming up on break. And I think Kelly just made it here, so she'll be here. The second thing is, there's a scripture in Proverbs that says, how can two walk together unless they agree? And I meditated on this scripture today. If you don't like the word meditate, I thought about this in my head today. Here's the simplicity of it. What are the things, if we walk together? I'm 5'7". Norris, how tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". Larry?
5'11".
5'11". Tim?
5'8" and a quarter.
Okay.
So specific.
I'll take Norris and I as the most divergent.
Oh,
here.
only you heard that in your head. It was 5'8" and a quarter, according
5'8"
to
and a
you,
quarter.
sorry.
So if Norris and I are walking together, he's roughly 3 inches taller than me. That means his gait and his pacing is a little bit longer than mine just because he's slightly taller. Therefore, if we get into agreement, we have to match pacing.
Manlets. Can't respect her.
So if we're going to walk together, Norris will have to adjust and slow down a little bit, and I will have to adjust and speed up a little bit in order to agree together. Right? It says that if the scripture literally says, how can two walk together unless they agree? Well, that agreement doesn't have to be huge. It can be very simple. I'm going to adjust my gait, my speed, my walking pace from my normal gait and speed and walking pace. And you're going to adjust yours, and we will find commonality within that. And then we can walk together. Doesn't mean we agree about it. There are two things in the agreement. This is what I was meditating on today. Two things in the agreement. We have to adjust our pace to accommodate each other, and we have to agree on where we're going. We have to agree on where we're going, and we have to adjust our pacing to accommodate each other. Because somebody might be a little quicker because of their makeup. Somebody might be a little slower because of their makeup. That's okay. I've met so many people that are on these learning curves in the Republican Party and in life and in Christianity, and I adjust my pace when I'm talking with them because they might not be mature. What's the scripture we talked about the other night, Tim, after the show? You who are mature must bear with the failings of the weak, not to please yourself, but to build them up. What, you remember where that reference was? I know you're working on the media. I'm sorry.
I know. Oh, wait,
so-
it's playing. Don't mean for it to play. Shoot, it's playing.
I'm not hearing. Is it hearing?
No, I have it turned down.
Okay.
So,
But my point is just that we are going to lose all of these moral battles if we don't get over our ego and our moral supremacy with each other. Our enemy is not here. Even though I might disagree with you.
I don't like your shirt.
Shut the fuck up, Larry.
I don't like the
so
color of your
because I think, and I'm going to address it here at least from the local Livingston County level, right? At least from my limited knowledge of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's been a lot of squabbles and bitching and moaning between people, attacking people, and everything else on personality things. I think more than anything. I don't know if there's any substantive differences in beliefs or policy that people are attacking each other on. Like I say, now correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it seems like it's more
I think
personal
the
than
vast
anything.
majority of it's 80%.
Yeah.
At least.
I mean, but I think, on the critical things of the issues, I don't think there's a disagreement here.
Correct.
And so all the squabbling and fighting that I understand, to Mike say, I don't have all the inside baseball knowledge.
Correct.
Right? But from the people that I know on both sides that are squabbling, I think it seems like it's more personal than it is political or
Absolutely.
policy.
And
right?
that's what I'm trying
And
to
so that's why I think, yeah, okay, there are people, there's some people that call themselves Republicans that are way the fuck out there. Yeah, right. So those are people we should definitely reject, right? If they are for abortion, if they are for genital mutilation, this, that, and the other, okay, yeah, they're not with us.
Right.
Plain and simple, right?
Plain and simple.
But I think here in Livingston County, I don't think it's that.
Right.
I think it's, like I say, I could be wrong, but I think it's, like I say, I think it's just personal and people need to get over that shit.
Correct. And that's exactly my point is we've endured some things where people, I think of the King of the Hill analogy. You couldn't just leave.
Propane accessories?
Huh?
Propane and propane accessories?
Not that King of the Hill,
Oh.
not that. Yeah, it's about power. It's about control. You're exactly right. Is you have people in their ego that can't just, I disagree with you 5%, so I'm going to start a whole fucking internal battle and fight among this whole thing because what you said, personality. I don't like your personality. You're this. I listen to so many of my friends look at me and go, well, Trump's he got to stop with the tweets. The tweets are just over the top. They're just mean tweets. They're just like that. And I'd look at him and go, really, dude?
It's like, what would you rather
Economy.
have, Joe Biden or mean tweets?
Exactly.
Give me mean tweets all fucking day long.
But I'm going to tell you what, 2 or 3 years ago, the second and third year of the Trump administration, my friends, good, strong conservatives, not necessarily party people, all that stuff, right? They were looking at me saying, I like a lot about Trump, but man, he's got to stop with these mean tweets. And I go, so you agree with him? And I would even ask him, I go, what about his tweets? Well, I mean, what he said in the tweet was right on. But the way he said it, and I go, really? You've got people on the other side that want to murder babies in the womb, and label it as a women's health. They want to have satanic rituals where they give birth to the children, and it's a right of the satanic church to murder the children. Those are court cases that have come to pass, okay? Where they want to legalize pedophilia, we'll get into that after the break, where they say that pedophiles feel bad because they can't express
now
themselves.
The quiet parts, they're saying the quiet part out loud. Finally.
Out loud, exactly.
They've been doing this for years.
But that was always their agenda.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet we can't somehow get together. And I'm calling out a whole bunch and saying, look, today is the day. Shut the fuck up and get along. Don't get along with the leftists who want to destroy the world and cut up genitalia.
Yeah, don't screw
okay?
it. Don't get
I'm
with the
saying
cats.
the person across the aisle from you. And you know what? I'll tell you my stance. If I can't get along, if you've lied to me, if you've looked me in the face and lied to me, that's fine. I'll wait over here. And I'm doing that with some people right now. I've disengaged on a few issues. And you know what? I've talked to too many people in our circles that have disengaged. And I will commend you all, because that is one of the best things to do until you gain your footing. When you are in a battle and you've been attacked by the man next to you who is supposed to be your ally in the battle, and you've lost your footing because you've been hit with friendly fire.
That's a confident breaker, no doubt.
Now you step back and you gain your footing in another space, and you look around and say, I thought I agreed with you 80%, but you're attacking me over the 20. What's going on here? We were in agreement 80%. We could have all moved forward and attacked.
Yeah, like I said, this applies to everybody, all sides,
across the board.
Yeah,
across the board.
Yeah.
Good.
They didn't hear me say that, so you just stopped talking. They didn't hear me.
I saw the graph. Sorry.
I've been on the man cave shot for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I'm always looking at the chat monitor.
Yeah,
I know.
That's all.
I know.
Going through it too.
Well, all right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We struck a nerve here.
Go to break. Yeah. So while we're going to break, you guys, I want to remind you in the middle of the show here to check out the website Twitch, where we can also get clips from you while you're watching the show. Go ahead and grab clips of highlights of the show. There's the 2 QR codes. I'm doing this in the middle of the show from now on, so those that have bedtimes can actually, see this stuff. This is my brain. host@outlook.com is the email address. So we'll be back in about 9.5 minutes is where we try to hit our break for. So that's what we're shooting for. Be right back.
Feels hot. You feel hot?
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna die. I think this is it. The world's being destroyed. What? Yep, this is it. End of the world. The apocalypse, Armageddon. I'd say we have 3 weeks left to turn this thing around. The worst part is it's all your fault. I can't believe you've done this. How is this my fault? Well, you produce carbon dioxide, and there's way too much of that stuff. Too much? How much is there? How much is too much? Look, I don't even know. I'm not here to understand vague pseudoscientific talking points. I'm here to enforce insane restrictions on the basis of those talking points. Restrictions? Yeah, like carbon credits and no gas stove, and you have to eat bugs and live in a tiny box like a bug, and end your bloodline, no children or anything, like a like a bug. Okay, that is insane. Yeah, well, it's a crisis, a climate crisis. So we don't have time to think about this stuff. We're saving the Earth from what? Well, from people. Yeah, like other people, not like you and me, but like, people, humans. So you want to eliminate humans. Well, it's not quite that simple. Yeah, I feel like that should be a hard no. Well, no, see, it's math. We have this equation, and we're trying to get this number down to 0. And one of those variables is people. Yeah, that's right. We're trying to reach 0 by multiplying these non-zero numbers by whatever the value of people is. We call it net zero. Okay, because people produce carbon dioxide by existing. Right, so it's all about switching energy production to carbon neutral sources. All right, and also not breathing or eating. I'm sorry, what? Great news. We're making big progress. The oldest and largest power plant in all of England just went 24 hours totally carbon neutral. They didn't burn a single ounce of coal all day. What did they burn instead? Biomass. What is biomass? Trees. Big, beautiful trees from across the ocean. See, we cut them down in British Columbia, ship them across the Atlantic, and burn them for fuel. Wait, so just because you don't burn coal, you're calling that zero emission? Well, the banks do. Yeah. The banks. And the bankers, the international bankers, they're in charge of all of this because they're so selfless and caring. Okay, and they're making us give up combustion fuel. Well, not totally, just like natural gas and coal and stuff like that. Yeah, but not trees. No, not trees. Trees are fine. All right, that's crazy. Isn't there any other power generator source? Like, what about windmills? Oh, yeah, windmills are great. Yeah, after like 18 years, they're carbon neutral for a couple years. Plus, when they freeze, you can just keep them spinning with the diesel engine. Also, they kill a ton of eagles. Is that a good thing? I guess not, but we're saving the Earth here. You can't make omelets without breaking a few eggs, and you can't build windmills without killing a ton of eagles and whales and chopping down 2 million trees in Scotland. Okay, wait, so you're burning trees for fuel, but you're also cutting down entire forests to make fields to build windmills? That's right. And also, we're just chopping down trees and straight up burying them in the ground. It's a new initiative. I hate trees. Don't trees absorb carbon dioxide? No, that's what my giant vacuum machine is for. It's huge. Okay, this is getting weird. Windmills work though. Yeah, windmills work great unless there's too much wind. Okay, what about solar panels? Solar panels also fantastic unless there's too much sun. All right, what about nuclear energy? No. All right, well, what about cars? I mean, cars run on gasoline, so what about them? Actually, every car is going to be electric from now on. Can the power grid handle that? Every car being electric? No. So I don't get it. How are people going to drive? How are you going to drive when you don't own a car? What do you mean I won't own a car? I mean, how will I get anywhere? Well, it's easy. Everybody will share a small amount of cars. You'll have an app like Uber where you can request a ride and also apply for a transit permit to leave the 15-minute perimeter. What 15-minute perimeter? Yeah, the one I'm going to put around you. It's called an ultra-low emission zone. It's a core aspect of the Sustainability Development Goals. It's where you can't leave your neighborhood and don't own a car and never fly and can't eat meat. Look, you're never going to get these laws passed. No, they'll pass. Just not through law. No, I'm just going to sort of do it. See, I don't have to pass a law to make beef illegal. I'll just buy the cattle farms and shut them down. See, I control the market with my incredible wealth. You control the market? That's right. So are you the one that offshored all of our manufacturing to China? Yeah, that was me. Hey, China, where there's no environmental controls at all, the #1 polluter on Earth? No, that can't be right. No way. That would be crazy. Okay, look, I'm an environmentalist, but can't we just do normal things like animal preservations, nature reserves, recycling? No. That's not how environmentalism works anymore. From now on, all environmental or ecological concern will be subsumed within the climate change carbon neutral agenda. See, carbon is responsible for everything: hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, pandemics, heart attacks, mass immigration, teenage mental health. I mean, do you have any idea how traumatizing it is for a child to constantly be told that the earth itself is dying and that it's their fault? Okay, so why do you keep doing it? Because the time is now. What? Because Earth can't wait. Well, what's happening here? Because we will be the generation of change. Are you just saying slogans at me? Climate change is racist. Okay, I don't understand what's happening here. That's fine. You don't need to understand. You just eat your bugs. My engineers are hard at work spraying metal particles into the air to block out the sun. Please Don't do that. Look, this is an emergency. I don't have time to stand here and argue with you about my asinine weather modification programs. The fact is, it's happening. Your pipeline is shut down, your backyard garden is illegal, and your water is filled with microplastics, which I put in there because I'm into that sort of thing. So the fact is, this is happening. You're helping me, or I swear to God, I will throw soup all over the museum. What? I will glue my hand to the ground right here, right now. I'll block the traffic. I mean, a blocked ambulance is a small price to pay to insist that the government do something it's already doing to a suicidal degree. You know what? Fine. It's fine. Great, because I got to go catch a helicopter to the airport. Me and John Kerry are going to race our private jets across the ocean for fun. All right, I'll see you later. By the way, no children, no bloodline. Bloodline's over. No children.
This is my brain.
I'm going to go to the browser. Can I show the t-shirt website? Big Frog Brighton is the one who provides these shirts for us. So this is the website. We're going to go a little steampunk with the website for more Tuesday content, but I just wanted to bring you guys this. The apropos for what we're dealing with, the We Do Not Comply t-shirts, $21, either the safety orange or safety green are available right now at $21 a pop. The safety orange comes in a black shirt with orange or green.
Kind of sexy.
Yep, they're tight. I love those. Okay, and then at the top of the page, you can just go back to the safety green. That's where you get the full green shirt. Yeah. Mr. Yuck reminds me of Mr. Yuck. Classic Mr. Yuck.
Yeah. That's
for
awesome.
Poison, and then
look at that one.
shirt,
oh, it's gorgeous.
That one's tight. Errol, we bring that up. There you go.
You can wear that on a job site.
Oh yeah, and piss people off for not wearing a mask.
Exactly.
And then if you want to say, "Hello, I'm here," that's a loud orange. So just do that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's full orange.
I like the orange.
The Ready Right Drinky Drink are always my favorite. I wear purple. I love sand though. I might have to order a sand.
It's
Look at
beautiful.
this stand with the pocket logo. I might have to go with that.
The Righty Right Drinky Drink Show.
Yep.
Woo-hoo.
I love when the ladies do that. Yep. And of course, our classic, the classic logo is the steampunk logo we're going to be going with. Comes in the black and the different colors of gray that are available. And then if you want to support our 2A movements, you get the 3 printed 2A.
Oh, there it is. That's a great one right there.
With the sleeve logo, 2A
that gray
pocket logo, and then
is that a heather gray?
Back. This one's not the heather. Here, let me pull up the heather.
The last one.
The heather is this one. It's a little lighter.
Yeah.
And that little lighter gray with the pocket logo in the sleeve. That's that.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Mr. Coffee saying he sold his already for a profit on eBay.
Nice.
Way
to go.
No, he's gonna make it a cottage industry. Buys it from us, and then he sells them secondary.
All right, coming back to
This is my brain.
And Kelli has
joined us.
That's right.
She's going to give me an earful of.
I don't want to get yelled at.
You know what? Now that you're here, I can't lean into the center like before. Let's.
It's got to be good.
Let's turn that one off. That's the one you're working on. And then.
Do you need this?
I've been saying it a lot since I got here, so probably. Especially with your ass.
Larry got the vitriol. As we come back, guys, listen. I'm not trying to call attention to recent events in our state and local party. I'm not. I'm literally not. I'm literally trying to say, if you want to defeat those who want to cut up children's genitals, if you want to defeat those who want to perform satanic rituals, who want to take down statues at our capitals of the founding fathers, who want to destroy this country by letting our borders come down, then at a certain point, you have to find the 80%. Not even find the 80%. It's obvious, dude. It's obvious.
Can I ask you a question?
And there are people I disagree with that I don't like. They've lied to me to my face. But on 80%? Cool.
What did God say to Jeremiah? Was it
People are taking me wrong tonight, and I'm not sure. I'm not a little frustrated or pissed off about it because,
Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Mr. Coffee.
What did God say to Nehemiah? Am I saying the name right?
Nehemiah?
Nehemiah.
What do you say?
Something about building a wall, wasn't it? To keep the people that want to harm you out?
Correct. And instead of building a wall and being united, listen. Look at Nehemiah. Look at Gideon.
What is it? What book is that? Is that Gideon?
The Bible.
Which book in the Bible is what I meant?
It's in the Bible.
I agree 100%, Pinky.
Come over here.
This is our
You're the
home. We have to
mustache.
be passionate about it and fight for it. Yes. And then at the same time, we have to recognize who our true enemy is, who our real enemy is.
Those poor retards outside the court, the Opera House is one of them. Call it that. Oh, sorry. I say, yeah, those four retards outside the Opera House. That's your
Exactly.
enemy.
Exactly. Now, I will be the first to say that there are people that I disagree with. I'm like, that's stupid. Why am I hearing extra sound in my ear?
Because she's talking and I don't know who she is. I can hear her too.
I mean,
Or it's a him.
Do you have a mic on?
My
Tom?
mic's on. Can you not
Is
hear
your
me?
sound? Turn your sound
Oh,
on.
yeah, okay, my fault.
It's
Sorry.
Norris.
I'm on the
It's-
one right here.
She's
Can
on
you hear
number
me?
2, and you're
Hello.
because my other pack's having so much interference. I went from 1, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's move on from this. Listen. I'm going to make the statement again. The person who agrees with you 80% of the time is a friend and an ally, not a 20% traitor. If we don't come together on some things, on a number of issues,
We're going to lose.
we're going to lose to the people who want to destroy us.
I agree with you, Pinky.
Prosper wants it. All right, you guys keep up a chat. Here's the thing. All right, so we're good on that, okay? I think we went down that agenda, hopefully. The true, you got the next clip ready, Tim? I want to tear into this I almost went down a very dark road. I was like, I want to tear into this like a guy going after, and yeah, I was cutting it on purpose. It's the pedo clip.
Say the wrong thing, you might make them happy. So be careful.
Here it is. Listen to this, guys.
Most of us feel discomfort when we think about pedophiles. But just like pedophiles, we are not responsible for our feelings. We do not choose them. But
We are
All right,
absolutely
pause it.
responsible for our
You are responsible
feelings.
for everything
Wind
you
it
do.
back to whatever that was, responsibility. So Tim knows this from me, but I've taught for a number of years, responsibility, the ability to respond, responsibility. When that chick, the foundation of her discourse right there, foundation of her argument is flawed before she says anything
Yes,
else.
absolutely.
Right. Because when she says that those who, the pedophiles are not responsible for their actions, that is the beginning of their bullshit argument.
Well, they're painting themselves as a victim right off
Right.
the bat. That's what they're doing.
What
Correct.
did I do the other day when we were all standing down there talking?
Yeah.
And something affected me.
Yep.
What did I do?
Took responsibility.
I walked away.
Exactly.
I can't stand to listen to people eat, and I don't like eating around people because of mouth movements. It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. And so when people eat near me, especially since I'm deaf in this ear, so usually I try to put eating people on the side of my head so I can't hear them, and I won't look at them.
It's a thing.
Somebody was eating on this side of me, and I moved away, and that person asked me if I farted.
Did you hear that, Tim? She also moved away so she could
I didn't
release.
know. I did not do that.
Oh.
He goes, what are you doing?
Oh,
Are
yeah,
you
that's
farting?
Are you farting?
And I was like, no, I removed
that's
myself
very
from the
courteous of you.
situation. I'm the one that feels that way.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything but just eating innocently. So why would I do something to him
Right.
to make him stop bothering me?
Right.
I removed myself from the situation. That's responsibility for actions. That's
far and above responsibility for actions because
Well.
you didn't want your idiosyncrasies to affect him, So
Right.
we're talking about people that are trying to prey on little kids.
Uh-huh.
Right.
and
Making
they're saying,
themselves victims.
But that's what I'm saying about responsibility.
Yeah.
That's simple.
your,
That's simple.
your responsibility went way overboard, which to
But
me, I do the same thing.
That's simple.
I know.
It's
Well, you
so
are
simple.
responsible for everything you do. I mean, even in the Bible, temptation is not a sin.
Right.
No, the
Giving into
response,
temptation is a
Acting
sin.
on
But
temptation.
acting on the temptation is where the sin comes in.
the
The
reaction.
devil can tempt you, and all you got to do is flip him off.
Uh-huh.
It literally says, resist the devil, submit yourself to God,
And he will flee.
Yeah.
So when I mentioned about demons earlier, and we got this whole Hollywood thing about these demons,
Everything's so demonic. now.
actually, when a demon comes into your presence and you know who you are and what your authority is as a human being created in God's image,
Yeah.
you can literally look at the demon and go, you can go now.
Yeah. Well, see, that person in that video doesn't want to be held responsible for her actions.
Well, there was a time when they would be held responsible.
Yes.
And
That
it
no longer
wasn't pretty for
happens.
them.
Right.
Correct.
Each and everything we
Well-
do in life is a choice.
Correct. And they're gonna get into that. So let's continue, Tim.
We
Continue
think
the-
about pedophiles. But just like pedophiles, we are not responsible for our feelings. We do not choose them, but we are responsible for our actions. And we must make a decision. It is in our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles and to treat them with the same respect we treat other people with. We should accept that pedophiles are people who have not chosen their sexuality and who, unlike most of us, will never be able to live it out freely if they want to lead an upright life. We should accept that pedophilia is a sexual preference.
Statistics indicate that there will be.
Pause right there. We'll go back to the other. Pedophilia is not a sexual preference.
No.
It is a deviant,
It is
despicable, abhorrent behavior.
Wow.
Yeah. It is a horrible life fucking choice.
Let me say this again.
And it's a choice.
Every time you've watched Joe Against the Volcano or any Apocalypto or all these other movies like that, and they talked about sacrificing the virgins to the gods, their gods, the depictions on the TV are wrong. They never sacrificed the cute little teenage girl to their gods. They have archaeological dug up whole pits or on the bottom of a cliff, whole areas full of babies.
Oh yeah, they were savages.
They would literally, when they said virgins, they were talking about infants,
The most innocent.
the most innocent.
Well, that was your early abortion, right?
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
brought the baby to term and then sacrificed it on the hill.
These people were savages, so are these people.
They
These
are.
are savages.
What's the point, Tim?
You're overlooking the point is by the time they were old enough for an adult male to get their hands on them, they were no longer virgins.
This is true.
By the
This is
time they
true.
were toddlers, they were probably already
2 billion people out there are Muslims, and it is okay for them to rape
newborns
little
were the
boys
only
who are
ones who
not
were still virgins in those societies.
correct. It is okay for them to rape
But we've
little
got all
boys
kinds of
who are
crazy
not
stuff
going not of their, if they're not part of their religion or they are not of the age of consent, puberty. It's okay in their society to go ahead and rape them.
Yeah.
You're just training them.
Because they're infidels.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you break down that first girl talking on there, they're not responsible for their feelings. They're only responsible for their actions. But we
That makes you
are the
makes you an animal.
Go,
That's an insult to animals, actually.
correct. It is. Rewind that again, Tim. I want you to hear this because this is you said it earlier, Norris. They're saying the despicable part, the bad part out loud. What was the phrase you used? You said it
They're
right.
saying the quiet part out
The
loud.
quiet part. That's what I was looking for. They're saying the quiet part out loud. She's literally saying they're not responsible for their feelings, but they are responsible for their action. But so are we. And how dare we judge them for just being their way? Right when she says the responsibility.
Yeah.
What was
I have
that
no
like?
clue how far back that is. So you get this.
Go back to.
We do not choose them,
Yeah, it's good.
but we are responsible for our actions. And we must make a decision. It is an our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles.
Pause.
And to treat them with the same respect.
She
She
flipped.
talked.
She flipped. You saw it,
talking
right?
out both sides of her mouth.
She
Yeah.
said they have feelings that they're not responsible for. We all have actions that we are responsible for, and we have negative feelings that we need to take responsibility for.
But we need
because
to
we're
accept them, basically.
because
is
we're
what it comes down
judging
to.
these poor pedophiles who are just born that way, and they just have a sexual orientation that means they want to fuck little kids.
Yeah, that's not a sexual.
And we're bad for judging them for that. Continue.
We treat other people with. We should accept that pedophiles are people who have not chosen their sexuality and who, unlike most of us, will never be able to.
You dehumanize a person.
Yeah.
It's the first person. I rebuke what you're saying. You're saying, nope, they aren't people. Yes, they are. She says they're people that haven't chosen their sexuality. No, that's what I'd say. No. But don't be saying these people aren't people. Jesus loves them too.
Correct.
That's good for Jesus.
Yeah.
But there is a
And you're going to be
dynamic
the
of-
one that throws the first stone because you aren't a sinner. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That's fine and dandy, but
no.
That's what you're saying.
It would
brother.
be better. No.
that
It would be
say-
better that a man has a millstone tied around his neck,
right,
and cast into the depths of the sea than to harm one of these little ones.
Right.
And this woman standing up here justifying harming little kids.
Yep.
She's not addressing the fact that some 5, 6, 8, 10-year-old is being molested by one of these fucking
freaks.
She's saying, "Oh, they've got an orientation.
They have feelings too.
They've got, and we've got to understand."
All right.
them.
All right. Let's just
Continue.
Let's just kill all the freaks, take them into the street, skin them, and kill them. Let's do that.
If they want to lead an
Yeah, it
upright
is.
life,
You're sick.
we should
Thank you.
accept that pedophilia is a sexual preference.
Statistics indicate that there will be 1 or 2 of you who are struggling with some form of pedophilic interest. These people can't talk about their feelings because they know that they will be hated for it. I truly do believe that every person is longing for love at some point in their life. And what if this love that you really wish for will forever be impossible? That must be a really lonely situation to be in. Yes, from an emotional point of view, I can kind of understand that you would want to eliminate these people from society.
Yeah.
However,
If you're
it
Norris,
doesn't
kill
make
them.
sense. And that's because we're talking about biology. We're talking about a sexual orientation, something that we simply cannot change. And on top of that, every day, new people are born with the same difficulty.
Where did they
So it's
find
not
these
practical to eliminate
Dude, this
these
is
people from
public stuff,
society.
dude.
They haven't
I
done
would say
anything
it's the quiet
wrong.
part out loud now. They don't care. But I mean, it's always been there. It's been an undercurrent. Now it's just they're just
And they're saying it out
emboldened
loud.
now.
You mean
They're
like
emboldened.
NAMBLA?
Oh yeah, that's been that. Yeah, exactly.
The North American.
But now
NAMBLA
they're like I say, but it's gone beyond that.
Yeah.
And here's my point on all this is that they are saying the quiet part out loud. I do think if you harm a child,
Bestiality is next. You know.
I do think that if you harm a child,
Sorry to hear.
Yeah.
I do think that if you harm a child, you should be tried.
You should be hung on the spot. I
No,
don't care.
that you should be given a trial.
What is that going to do?
Because you get a trial, you get
People
the,
on death row, they still are alive.
okay. But here's the point: if we believe in a nation of laws, then we give them a trial. But here's the thing: we're not even talking about a trial. You guys are quibbling back and forth about whether we should eliminate them from society. Eliminate them from society. They're the ones on the fucking stage dancing for our kids.
Right.
We're not even talking about eliminating them from society. How about somebody stand up and say that's fucking wrong?
Yeah. I
How
agree.
about that?
100%.
We're not even doing that
Mhm.
as a public.
Yep.
There's a kid. What's the one you sent me, Larry? The parents had their
100%
kid
agree.
removed in Illinois,
I think it's
because they said the wrong pronouns.
Yes.
So long before we get to eliminating them from
that's what I'm saying.
society, we're the ones who are allowing
We
this
allowed it to happen.
depravity
Yep.
to be on it because
Absolutely 100%.
because we're sitting back divided over bullshit.
Well, because the thing,
Instead of saying this is absolutely fucking wrong and we're not going to allow it.
Because here's another example. I mean, it's a little bit different, right? The basketball team in, where was it, Massachusetts? Where was it recently? They had one guy on the other side against the girls' basketball team.
Yeah, it's
Where were
ridiculous.
the parents?
Right. I said that.
Parents don't parent anymore.
Where were the parents? The parents should. Where are the parents standing up for their daughters?
I loved Riley Gaines coming and speaking, and I don't want to cast any aspersions on her or anything like that. But I look at where were the protectors, where were the men in her life, because it would have been very difficult for me if my daughter had worked her ass off for years to become top in her sport, and then some shit eating, grin looking 6'4" motherfucker stands there on the podium beating a bunch of little girls, for me not to walk up and punch that motherfucker in the face.
Well, no, but before that, where were the men who allowed that asshole to go in the locker room in the first place?
Agreed. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
On the podium, before he goes, I would have been like,
he wouldn't have made that far.
What the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
But I want to tell you this, and here's the thing. We are always so shocked by the overbearing actions of these types of wicked people that we're often shocked into not responding, we're looking at it going, is this really, it's literally, does everybody slow down for a car accident on the side of the road? Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody slows down to look at the car accident.
But nobody does anything.
Because we're shocked.
Yeah.
But it's the very few people who witness the car accident who pull over and offer assistance. And that's part of our problem. And I'm going to tell you that part of the mentality is, well, if I stop, it's going to infect I got to be somewhere. I got things to do. Well, I'll have to answer a bunch of questions. Did I see everything? There's this whole gamut of stuff. And I'm telling you, as a society, do you want to stop this stuff? We've got to stand up in the moments. You don't have to be a crusader. You have to be a superhero. Stand up in the moments and say, no. I'm going to go on record. Okay. I was molested as a child. I don't want to describe the things that I endured, but I dealt with that. Okay. So when I talk about this type of rhetoric from the pedophilia community, I know what I've had to work through in my own heart. I know what I've had to deal with. Okay. When somebody says, do this, it shows that you love me. As a 6-year-old child, endure that shit and then sit here and watch somebody saying, well, they're not responsible for their feelings. They're not responsible. You're responsible to enable them to do what they're doing. No. I want them tried, convicted, and then handed out a duly ascribed punishment. Yeah. We don't hand out ascribed punishment.
Well, that's why we're going to have vigilantes.
Well, they're the ones that they have the highest murder rate in prison.
Oh, they are.
Because in prison they don't tolerate people like that.
That's because in our society right now, we don't convict properly. We trump up charges. We suppress evidence. We do all sorts of bullshit in our courts. And the actual guilty people, we try to facilitate through Soros DAs and all sorts of leftist juries to get people out. And then if they do get convicted, surprise, surprise, we send them to a privately run prison where their goal is not to make sure that they're rehabilitated.
Well, there's no rehabilitating those kind anyway.
But that they spend as much time in that prison as possible because they're making money off of it. When we used to have societies to where you didn't do anything that got near to looking like what they said you're doing, because you might lose a hand. If you got convicted as a thief, you lost a hand.
Well, prison is basically a country club now. Prison should be so freaking miserable that you never ever want to return there. You never ever want to return.
And
No
our justice
TVs.
system would fight for the most innocent among us that they would never want to go. It should be we have per capita in this country, out of any country, the highest incarceration rate. The country with the most freedoms enshrined in our Constitution has the most people in our prison systems, and our prison systems are run privately. That should be a wake-up call to all of us.
Well, what should be a wake-up call is actually what we're witnessing across this country.
Exactly.
Like Trump being railroaded in New
Well,
York.
that's the thing. Like I say, I'm not necessarily. Probably the bulk of the people that are in prison deserve to be there, so I'm not going to dispute that. But when you go after people like Trump, when you go after innocent people for just standing up, for their children, for standing against COVID, for whatever the righteous cause is, when those people are being thrown in jail or trying, being railroaded, that's the real issue.
Do we need to catch up on chat? Let's catch up on chat. We got a bunch of great people in chat. I love all you guys out there in chat, even though you might disagree with me tonight on the 80-20.
Crazy Town said they want our guns for many reasons, and none of them are good for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Well, the biggest
don't dispute there.
the biggest reason that the liberals are coming after guns is because as long as we have guns, we can resist them.
Right.
Absolutely.
That is the only reason.
Well, that's the reason we have guns in the first place.
Revolutionists. We're descendants of revolutionaries.
To shut off the
We can't
tyrannical
have
government.
guns.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, that's the far left communist agenda. They can't conquer this country as long as so many Americans have firearms.
Yeah.
They got to conquer from within.
Crazy
by
Town had
demoralizing.
said Epstein's list are the pedos who paid to do this monstrous activity.
Yep.
And the saddest thing is, I guarantee you 90% of our government officials are on that list.
Absolutely.
I guarantee
Well,
you
Hollywood, the government. I mean,
Look,
there's a bunch of people out there.
I
on
was
that list.
raised
Yeah.
in Northern California in the late 80s, early 90s in pageants and dancing for the USO. I have a lot of
some baggage.
I have a lot that I've had to work through in my life.
Yep.
So I did pageants in Disney. So there's people that are very high up there that are very famous, that are very
Well,
awful
there's a known pedophile culture in Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
that hasn't been outed, or it has been outed, but it's just not being pursued.
Soundgarden's lead singer Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington were about to release a full expose documentary on the pedophilia.
Chad Bennington ended up dead, right? Suicided.
Chris Cornell committed suicide, and about a month and a half later, 2 months later, so did Chad Bennington.
hung by scarves, right?
Alone in their hotel room after being on SSRI drugs, big pharma. They were going to expose the pedophilia, and they were look at what's the career of one of the hell's his name? One of the kids, one of the child actors.
Corey's one of the Corey's.
Corey.
Haim.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah. He was one of them. Corey.
It was Haim.
You're right, but there's two of them. There's Corey.
Yeah, Corey Feldman and Corey
Feldman.
Haim.
So Feldman pushed through that, but then later came out. He's recently come out in a number of years and said, talking about the thing. Corey Haim was the one that couldn't overcome the abuse and overdosed.
A few years back, yeah.
And so there's a lot of things going on there. This is the brutality. It is a thing.
They're normalizing MAPS, minor attracted people. That's going to be the new name. I've been talking about it since I ran for
they've been
school
talking
board.
about that for a long time.
Yeah, this is not anything new.
No,
I really want to do this, guys. Take the first 2 chapters of Genesis. Read through it again. Look what the dominion God was given. Dominion over the earth, to subdue it, to be fruitful and multiply. Read through those dynamics again of what man was entrusted with, what man was charged with taking dominion. And then you will understand that every perversion in the earth today is against those principles.
Yeah.
Be fruitful and multiply? No, we want to depopulate and we want to exploit and destroy our children as they come out of before they come out of the womb, as they come out of the womb, later on, as they're standing there. So abortion to pedophilia, all the way up, is a form of destroying what God intended of being fruitful and multiply. Do you know the true? I've been in church for years, like I've said before, right? And we stand before church and they go, you have an eternal soul and blah, 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 blah. Okay, we get that, right? Your true heritage and immortality, not eternity, immortality, is the legacy you leave behind. And the pinnacle of that legacy, not everybody has kids, but they have influence. If you are blessed to have children, that is the pinnacle of your immortality. That is your legacy. Now, if you are good, if you influence other people, if you influence, you can still have a legacy through that. That can be powerful too. But the pinnacle that God created of your legacy, of your immortality, is what you pass on to your children. And we could sit down and do a 10-part study on that and just read scripture after scripture after scripture of how about how powerful the generations are and how important it is what you pass on to your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, and how you do that, and sitting down and look at the patriarchs and how when Joseph is Joseph's sitting there and his son brings the Isaac's sitting there. Joseph brings his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, before him, and he switches hands and puts hands on because he put the one on his right hand and the one on his left. And he says, "No, Dad, you're doing it wrong." And he knew by the Spirit, "No, I know where I'm placing my hands." And we miss these nuances and significance because of our perceptions in life. We're caught up in the latest show and all this other shit. But I want you guys to get this, that if we don't understand that we are responsible for this, we can point the finger at the left, but the left is only, let me read this quote this to you. All that it takes for evil to prevail
is for good men to do nothing.
So when we look at this and we go, the left, the Democrats. No, the reality is that good men and women have not stood up. And we say, but I am standing up. Yes, but we've not hit a critical mass. And a lot of times those on the right want to be left alone, and we just want to live good lives and do our own things, and we don't want to be involved because we just want to let you do you and I'll do me, and we'll be all right.
It's too bad when they stand up and they think
we're beyond that point.
But see,
they're fighting against their own right side because they were wronged. They think they have the energy to stand up and do something and defend themselves from being wrong from their own right side.
Correct. And we're not looking at the true enemy of this. One, we got to look at ourselves and go, wait a minute. I have to be, you know what we do? We point a finger at a person and we go, you're wrong on the left. It's like a self-explanatory, it's like the teacher walking over and going, this first answer on the test here, it's this one. Now I'm going to let you fill in the rest. But now that you know that answer on here is this one, that'll help you understand the rest of the way the questions are laid out. When we point the finger at the left, that's literally what we're doing. We're going, okay, that one's obvious. My teacher came over and checked off that, filled in that square for me. These fucking people are demonic. We get that. But the problem is that what are we doing? And here's the thing, and I'm not trying to project on all of us. Listen, here's the simplicity of it. How are you living? Are you living a life that is a shining city on the hill? Then don't take this personally. Don't think that I'm attacking you. If you're doing your part, encourage the person around you that's hiding out in the shadows, not thinking that they have a voice.
Well, there's too many people that just go to work every day. They go to work.
They put their head down and
they don't turn on the TV. They don't watch the news. They don't know that boys are using the girls' bathrooms, locker rooms, and showers.
I just had a client today ask me if it's true about litter boxes in the classroom.
See? And what did you do? Did you scream at them and go, "How stupid are you to not know if there's fucking litter boxes in the class?"
No, I was like, well, I can't. I have never seen one, but I have heard the same, and I can guarantee you, I know that there are people that identify as cats running for county commissioner.
So you were gentle?
Yeah.
Because they were asking.
And then she laughed and
That's-
said, "Are you serious? Like really serious?" And I said, "Yes, I'm very serious."
And they got it. They were
Mhm.
enlightened. Your client was enlightened and learned from you sharing with them. And that's what I'm saying, guys. That's what I'm trying to say. If they're 80% with us, 80% agree with you, then they're not a 20% traitor. We've got to start discerning. That's a spiritual gifting of discernment, where you're discerning the person in front of you that may be misled, that may not have all of your information, all of your wisdom, all of your experience.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, okay, I've had multiple discussions. Now, one thing I do not tolerate is when you lie to my face. Okay.
You said that before.
I'm going to keep saying it. When you lie to me, to my face, when I've given you a genuine hand of friendship, those are some things that I have to talk to Jesus about and go, "Lord," and he goes, "Confess your bitterness, son, because they're going to come around." And I go, "Okay," because that really pisses me off. He's like, "Well, you've lied to yourself and you've lied to me." And I go, this is true. But I work really hard at it. So there are reasons that people lie to themselves and then turn around and panic and lie to each other. I understand those reasons. I still have a difficulty with it.
I find that if I don't lie, I don't have to worry about
This is and you don't have to keep track of it. You don't have to keep track of it. So what I'm saying to you, to everybody out there is, look at this. The true agenda of the alphabet mafia is pedophilia. And it's always been that way.
Well, let me take it this way. The alphabet mafia is just a tool in the cog. It's a cog in the machine, right?
Agreed.
They're a part of the factions that are trying to tear down this country.
Absolutely.
And how do you weaken the country? You weaken its children.
Exactly.
You weaken the men.
Yeah.
A bunch of useful idiots.
Exactly. So
the only clarification I'll say on that, Norris, I agree with you 100%. The only clarification I'll say on that is, historically, when you actually dive into the deep history throughout societies throughout the world, Mayans, Germanic, Roman, Greek, going back, the pinnacle of their depravity and their downfall was
pedophilia.
The pedophilia.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's the only reason I focus on it.
But yeah,
no, but I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
But but I think specifically,
yes,
in our case,
oh, absolutely.
I mean, I remember there was a document that was discovered. I can't remember the name of it, but it was basically a Russian document.
Yeah,
and they basically discussed all the ways to take down America, and this was one of those things.
Right.
Everything. If you read that document,
It's
I can't remember the name of it.
It's the pillars of communism.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, but
Mhm.
I can't remember. But everything that's on those in the document is happening
I
today.
think I have it actually on my phone.
And that's what I'm saying is, I don't want to expect everybody out there to become a crusader, but where's your dominion? Where's God given you dominion? Where have your feet stepped that you own? Take dominion over that. Take dominion over your children. Doesn't mean you control their life and become a helicopter parent, but it means that you have dominion over that situation and you take authority over that. And I'm going to
raise them the way they should go, and they should.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. Raise them in the way. That's exactly right. And so we're looking at this, and I'll tell you guys from my studies, vast studies, but also experiential. The border, the elections, the debauching of our currency, the debauching of our language,
and our children,
all comes back to our children because they are our immortality,
our future. Yep.
And one of the things, go back and read your gospels again. What is one of the one things that Jesus abhorred overall, next to pretending to be something you're not, i.e. hypocrites, was children.
Yep.
Suffer not the little children to come to me, for such is the kingdom of heaven. It would be better that a man have a millstone, anywhere from a 3,000 to 6,000 pound stone tied around his neck and be cast into the sea, than to harm. Not even, it's literally the word harm. We'd have to look it up to the Greek to see what that word fully entails. I don't have that one pulled up right now. To harm one of these little ones. If you just take it at face value that they translated it correctly, harm. Like you hurt a kid. When I get after my kids, when I got after my kids when they were young, or I get after my grandkids right now, sometimes that pops into my head. Am I doing harm? What Paul wrote in Ephesians when he says, fathers, do not embitter your children. I tried to work on that with my kids. And if I saw them getting bitter, I would go to them and I would say, I believed it was right to discipline you and correct your behavior, but I don't want to embitter you. Let's talk this out. And I would look at my kids when they were growing up and I go, look, I'm learning to be a dad while you're learning to be a kid. I've never had a 10-year-old. I've never had a 12-year-old. I've never had a teenager. I've never had these things. So you're learning and I'm learning. Let's work together.
You know, it's interesting my daughter and I have this conversation often because we had a rough start when she was younger because I didn't know what to do. And I was raised by a person that.
You're in the military.
Well, I was raised by.
Very strict disciplinarians.
She was.
Toe the line, or you're going to get a boot in the ass?
Stories of what
you've shared with me some of this, so I'm interjecting.
So what we talked about is the generational decline. Like if you think about my mother's parents had 10 children, right? She was the youngest by 10 years from the next youngest. So 10 children with that big of an age gap. So by the time they got to her, they were done. They were retired. They were not raising any more kids. Yeah. Exactly. And she was a product of the 60s, right? So I got the militant version of free love, if that makes any freaking sense.
Oh boy.
Right? But generationally, if you think about it, the boom creation, that generation that was the boomers, right? They were raised by parents that typically the dad went to work, the mom stayed home, but they went through all these wars and it totally decimated the family. They focused more on the inner city families and the black families, but they decimated the family unit because now mom has to go to work because we have to be able to afford to keep up. And then they started implanting in our brains that we needed to have and spend stuff.
Yeah.
They're consuming us by us being consumers. And it's the most disgusting thing in the world. And nobody's talking about the fact that we didn't pass down generations. Like everything I learned from having to learn it the hard way, right? Nobody implanted anything in me. Nobody imparted any wisdoms to me until I got to be 20 and I got to live with my dad. And now I've got all these wisdoms that are amazing. And I've got a almost 25-year-old kid that's actually functioning.
Exactly. it is when I sit back and I watch my kids and I see them pushing through difficulties and pushing through.
They have to.
And I hope they know. I believe they do because I try to be a very as much as you guys see me on the show and as much as I talk and I get criticized for talking too much sometimes. I've been taught by the Lord for many years to be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to become angry. And to just, even a fool when he holds his tongue is considered wise. But with my kids, when they ask, Dad, what do you think about this? I try to share with them the best wisdom. My kids grew up hearing Proverbs, hearing the best wisdom that I had to help them grow and to help them learn. And I watch them now and I hope I just look at them and I go, even in your struggles, even in your difficulties, I see the best in you that I've always seen coming to light. And you may have to go through, my kids, I've looked at them and I go, you may have to go through a lot of bullshit to get to becoming the person God created you to be. But I see you getting there and that excites me. That makes me happy. I looked at my daughter years ago and of course my sons are included in this, but she's my youngest. And I said to her, if you don't take up the mantle from where I leave off, or when my timeline stops, if you don't take up that mantle and carry it on with me, carry it on in my name and do better accentuate that what I laid down and what I learned and what I grew in, and then you take that and you move beyond it, as well as referring back to it, then I didn't do my job or you didn't do your job. One of us missed it. And I'm doing my best to do that. I was sitting down there studying for this last Sunday morning service, and I have this whole binder. It's one of a number of them that I have, and I'm flipping through it. And I looked at Tim and I said, "Dude, sometimes I think that because I revel in teaching from the heart, meaning if I walk on a job site in construction, I'm going to look at the blueprint because that tells me where the 2x4 goes. But when I walk on that job site and I see on the blueprint where the 2x4 goes, that is 5% of this 95% of knowing how to put that 2x4 in a way that is structurally sound, that is going to do its job, that's going to be in the place where it's supposed to be, and understanding how to put it in there." And I go, when I get up to teach, I want to know this so much that I don't need notes. And then I turn around and I open up this a whole book with all my notes. And I go, "Thank you, Lord. You at least got me enough to write this down." And I wonder, Tim, what was the book we were discussing? The Utmost for His Highest? Who was his daughter?
This is Oswald Chambers, and his daughter compiled most of his notes from very brief, not even sermons. He was chaplain during World War I and was addressing troops as they were heading out to battle on a daily basis. And all those notes that he wrote down while serving in World War I were compiled into that daily devotional. And yeah, you were just talking about, passing that on.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was just searching here. And I by the way, Norris, I think you might be talking about the Communist Manifesto, but which is one version of it. But
I think there was another document.
There was another document too. But here's the thing is if you guys have ever heard, there was a KGB defector like 40 years ago.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Well, Yuri Bezmenov or something like that. Bezmenov. I always think I think of Johansson's character in Bez when I say the name. But anyway, he said 40 years ago the planned staging of what it is. It's demoralizing America. The demoralizing of America. Not that you're downtrodden and you don't want to try anymore.
Yeah.
It's the removal of
the moral standard
from America.
Yeah.
And the brainwashing in 4 basic stages and the implementation of hippie raised children in the collegiate programs, followed by the series of steps. We should have seen this coming. We should have seen this coming, and the fact that the generations that didn't know this was coming wasn't able to pass it on to the next generation and say, this is what we should be aware of and be guarding against.
Greatest psyop in history.
It's greatest. And here's the problem. Here's what now this next generation is. And I got a little bit defensive when you started dehumanizing people who have sexual sins they have troubles with. But the problem is they've gotten to a point, and I found the quote of this guy because I thought about him. He says, as I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who is demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell them nothing. Even if you shower them with information, with authentic proof, with documentation, even pictures, even if you take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him all of the facts. This is showing them truth. Even put him in a concentration camp, he'll refuse to believe it until he receives a kick in his fan bottom. When a military boot crushes his balls, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragedy of the situation of demoralization.
Yeah.
They get to a point where there is a certain mindset, and it might be a demonic oppression, but they just won't see truth.
Yeah.
That they're deceived.
And I agree with you 100%, Tim. And I agree with you, Norris, from both sides. Is that you were looking at?
You're either with me or you're against him.
No.
No.
I was agreeing with you. Is these people are so depraved?
Yeah.
that you just take them all back and shoot them. On one level, I agree with you, but I also agree with Tim is we have to humanize these people, and we have to. One of the responses, and I wrote this down. How do we respond? One of the things that people may have misunderstood when I'm talking about the 80% agreement or 80% friend and ally, and the 20% not a 20% traitor, is that I'm not saying we enable
we don't
the 20% of behavior and agree with it, but that's not my sticking point. That's not my division point. It means that I'm disagreeing with it. Listen, if you're for pedophilia, you're not on my 80%.
Yeah.
There's no way that we're there. If you're for abortion on demand, abortion up to the day of birth, you're not on my 80%.
We're not the same. Yeah.
But we have a problem with our collective group of conservatives who are 70 to 80% in agreement that we'd rather fight within ourselves than unite and fight against the greater evils in our society.
I have a warning.
And
I have a warning because that's the first stage is that demoralization, destabilization, crisis, and finally normalization.
So I'm going to interject really quick because I've been trying to say something for like the last 10 minutes.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I hear your 80-20%, and in the chats when you were talking about that, they were talking about how somebody's got to stand their ground. I will not compromise my moral ground to work with anyone that does not see the bigger picture, period.
Okay. And what I said, one of the things I said was, did you see the bigger picture?
I'm not saying you.
No,
I get what you're saying.
What I'm looking at is we're losing the moral high ground.
How?
If we lose, it doesn't matter.
Cat boxes in the school, pedophilia, run amok, drag queens.
This is all going to happen. This is all going to happen. It's all happening because we have a group of people that is unwilling to see beyond greed, to be able to not usurp the people. And because of that, this will all happen.
I understand that. But what happened to Disney, Netflix, and a few of the other organizations when the vast majority of the people said the content you're putting on there is unacceptable to us?
For sure. No, I agree. And if I'm working on something, but see, that's the thing. If I'm working on something and that person that doesn't share my 20% jumps in and is working on it too, and we're doing the same thing and working towards the same goal, I'm all in.
Okay, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
That's
what we're saying.
But
we're not saying we're not going to acquiesce on the other issue.
I have been told to go lightly with abortion. I have been told.
See, that's not 80%.
See, but and that's where the problem is.
Let me ask this question. When they say go light, what does that mean?
It means I need to not be so strong in my stance because that's why Tudor lost us the governorship.
So let's ask this question because
that's what they say.
But let me ask this because there is a strategic. I don't know. I'm trying to discern what's going on here, but there is a strategic value too. In certain places in Florida, they can go balls to the wall on abortion. In Michigan, we can't do that. Right. We can't go no abortion from day to just cancel abortion because it's not going to fly here. You got to be strategic. You got to take it in steps. The left is really good at incrementalism. We have to be good at it as well.
It's all about feeling.
I'm not saying, and that does not mean we acquiesce in abortion, but it means that, okay, we take our victories one step at a time. Because if we lose, it doesn't matter. It's going to be abortion balls to the walls anyway.
But that's the thing is they don't care.
Correct.
Because they just in Heartland schools gave up a third set of bathrooms. So there was female only identifying, male only identifying, and unisexual for anyone that wants to.
Okay.
That's never going to be good enough.
Okay.
That's fine.
Never
I know what you're saying, but I understand.
The bathroom policy in Heartland?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's the point.
Well, I don't know if they passed
But
it yet,
remember-
but that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I know
Okay.
that, but last I heard,
They probably implemented it before they even passed it.
No.
You know, Chuck Hughes.
No, Chuck Hughes.
Chuck doesn't want it.
Chuck doesn't want that. That was
That's
that.
what I'm
That was
trying
that
to
was
say,
that
but
lady.
Nobody's letting me talk.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Chuck Hughes and Megan Gilbert are blocking it.
I get that. But remember, we played the video of Michelle Blondil
Yeah.
standing with them and saying, so we're going to give you a third bathroom. and the people standing in front of them said it was unacceptable.
It's never going to be good enough.
This is exactly
Too
what
bad.
Trump did. But I'm saying is you come to you address. Listen, guys.
But
80%.
But that 80%, that 20% in our group, or I'm
In
not even
our
going to say
group.
in our situation,
Those who are like-minded.
That 20% will never, because I've run for office, because I've actually done some of, the stuff behind the scenes and stuff like that. I've seen and heard enough to know that no matter what I do to unify, no matter what I do, I am never going to be able to achieve what I'm setting out to do, because the need for control and power will always step in and pull back.
Okay.
And so every step forward that's taken, I now have to take 5 steps back, because that need for control and power is never going to allow any unification to move forward on any topic. Trust me, I know this. Quite literally, when I ran for office, I called out the person that I was supposed to be on the same ticket with. I said, after the first meeting, I know this person is working for the other side. I can't give you I have no proof. All I know is this person is working for the other side.
Okay.
And that person did everything they could to lobby against me while we were running a slate.
Okay.
In my own group, in my slate.
Correct.
Okay. And I was told, nope, don't worry about it. Nope, just it's okay.
But
Nope.
did you, when all said and done, did those people?
Yeah, they're all sitting on the board.
But did those
Did they
people
follow
see
through on the
that you saw something they didn't?
Now they do, yes.
Okay, that's the victory we want, and that's the problem. Is that the true victories are slow. They're very incremental,
right?
And they don't always hit the front page of the news.
If they're willing to listen, but there are those that want money, they want clout, and they have greed.
I agree, but remember, I'll quote Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain. He said, "The lie will travel around the world twice before the truth has a chance to get its pants on." But the reality is, I look at it from this standpoint. I look at it from, and they're not the first ones to say this. Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King. Gandhi quotes that one. He says, first they ignore you, then they attack you, then they try to destroy you.
They fear you.
They fear you. Or they ignore you, they fear you, they attack you, and then you win. And this is what I'm trying to get across to everybody. This is what Reagan was. Reagan, coming as a traditional Democrat, came through those parties, was in Hollywood, was doing all these things. And he's called the great communicator because he was very eloquent in his speech. But the vast majority of things he said was based on his learning experience of coming through that. And he said, look, if they agree with you 80%, of the time, they're a friend and an ally. The 20%, you guys keep, but listen, everybody keeps going in the chat.
Okay,
where I'm saying partner up with Democrats. That's not what I'm
saying.
saying.
That's not what he's saying.
At all.
Okay, so this is what I want to say. I fought alongside one of the people in our party that we just went through all this crap with. I fought alongside her, and she ran for the same kind of office as me in a different area.
Yep.
I supported everything about that, right? Yep. I have questions. I've asked questions of this person because I want to know why this person is being represented by a law firm that is sitting on evidence of voting tampering. I want to know why this person is being represented by a law firm that is basically covering up the election fraud. Okay. I want to know why this person is sitting on a law firm that is freaking supporting the CCP takeover of Michigan, the land. And this person's sitting on the law firm, representing them against somebody that was duly elected while looking down their nose at me, telling me I need to fall in line and that I need to, none of that is okay.
Agreed.
None of that.
Agreed.
But how am I supposed to trust this person?
You never. Okay. All right. Let's break this down.
Because if this person could do this,
but are you only focused on that one person? I mean,
but no,
I'm not focusing on this one person. This is a consistent behavior amongst people that have no backbone and are willing to sit down and say, okay.
Well, here's the thing.
That's going to get me shot in a worse situation.
That's
me in a foxhole with somebody that's going to throw me as cover for them. And I'm not doing it. Morally, I will not do it.
I understand that.
I'm not going for dirty money.
Let me paint a different scenario from Iraq and Afghanistan and Egypt, where you did have a vast majority of friendly fire and things where they just put you out in front. In World War I and World War II, there was a different mindset of sacrifice where it was not, the mentality was never put that guy in front. The mentality was, I will put myself in front to protect that guy. So we're in a different mindset now to where we're afraid of the guy in the foxhole. When I'm trying to say, we've got to get, no matter what the outcome is.
No, I'm not afraid of the guy in the foxhole. I've been stabbed in the back by the guy in the foxhole so many freaking times. I know he's going to pull me in front of him for cover, and I'm not doing it.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
That sounds like you're afraid of the guy stabbing you in the back again.
No, okay.
Yes.
So fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, right? Shame on me. That's what George W.
That's what
said.
I'm trying to.
I would be concerned too if you kept getting betrayed. Well, I have a question. Isn't it the fact that Michigan's already been allowing those who have low moral values and quality to get into places of power, and you're trying to fight against a blue system that's corrupt and should be destroyed?
Correct.
Okay, so you're fighting.
But what happens when the blue system's being backed up by the red system?
Well, okay, the red system is trying to get a way in by not playing ethically. And that's the problem.
The red system's working with the blue system.
Yeah, they are, because they're trying to get an edge in, and it's not good. I'm agreeing with you, it's not good, but that's their tactic.
That's their tactic, and here's my whole point is, as grassroots people who believe in whatever you believe in, America first, whatever your fundamentals are, okay? Find the people around you. I'm not talking about the guy up on the platform. I'm talking about the guy next to you.
Yeah, I mean, we could still we could still make things happen.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm saying, you've been stabbed, I've been stabbed, we've all been stabbed. Let's find the people that aren't all stabby. Let's partner with them. Let's find inroads.
Yeah, I mean,
I've read Shakespeare, okay? Right? Have we read Shakespeare? Our good audience out there, okay? Brutus, he too was a good man. How's the?
Wait, Uri, I knew him well.
No, his speech before after they murdered.
Oh, right.
The Caesar. He gives up and gives this great speech, and he's being very eloquent, because the same people that just murdered Caesar could easily turn and murder him. Nobody knows who actually murdered Caesar, because they were all stabbing him. You know why? Because there was a fervor, and they were fomented into getting into this attitude of killing, instead of giving into an attitude of saying, wait a minute, let's take a beat, let's pause. Is this really as bad as it is? No, they got whipped up into a fervor. And I watched so many people on the right, I don't even want to say fucking Republicans, so many people on the right who get whipped into a fervor over this little bit. And they miss all of the forest. They get whipped up over a tree instead of seeing all the forest. Listen, I don't give two fucks about the leftist people that we frequently mention. Well, Larry mostly. We mentioned on the show. They're a joke to me, quite literally and figuratively. I'm concerned about the fact that I meet all good types of wholesome people who have all sorts of backgrounds, who may disagree with me on 10%, 20%. And I'm looking at the controllers and the twisty people that are trying to fuck everything up on a regular basis to continually keep us in this two-party system that either you're with the terrorists or you're with us. And I'm going, fuck you, people in the big stage. And I'm going, how can I unite with all of my people on here? How can I unite with the person sitting next to me? How can to be honest,
just be a good person.
Be honest. But then if we come up with 20%, doesn't mean I'm a traitor. means I have a different outlook.
It depends on what that 20% is.
Yeah,
It really
Well, like,
does.
like I say, so here,
My morals will not compromise.
let me throw this out. Because can't respect to say the 20% Reagan started immigration that destroyed the country. Okay, Reagan fucked up too, but so was Trump. Trump was endorsing a bill, I think it's back in 2018, Paul Ryan bill that was going to give amnesty. So I mean, nobody's going to be perfect.
Trump was behind warp speed, which I vehemently disagree.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and Reagan got duped into the war on drugs.
So I mean, nobody's. I mean, if you're looking for perfection, you ain't going to fucking get it.
Okay, so again, this goes back to the moral ground, and my point to all of this is we've lost the moral ground because we've lost our moral ground, and I will not compromise.
Okay, you don't have to compromise. But I'm saying,
ground.
but is it? So you're saying it's impossible for you to work with anybody?
No, I'll work with anybody
so
as long as
that's
the
what
goal
we're
is
saying.
the goal.
So that's
as
what we're
long
saying.
as the goal is the goal.
That's what we're
but
saying.
But I will not tolerate. I won't tolerate cheating, lying, backstabbing.
You don't work with that
but
situation.
That's what it all is.
But it's not all. But it's not everybody.
But it is.
But it's not.
But it is.
So Jeremy.
No,
Larry,
but I don't.
But I'm saying
Jeremy has never done anything.
Okay, but these are people you can work with.
Larry has done things to give me pause, but he already knows how I feel about
done things to give everybody pause.
Larry gives everybody
so there are
I'm saying, but I mean, what I'm saying is, because I hear people saying they're going to withdraw and do their own thing or do third party. That shit is going to cause. We're going to lose.
You know what? My whole life I've been told don't vote third party because you got to pick the lesser of the two evils.
Well, the point.
And I'm done with the two evils.
Okay, well, like I say, I'm not saying this. What I'm saying is.
Because the black hats, white hats are not working.
You got to work with the system that we have at the point in time.
No.
Okay, well, we're going to lose. You're going to have.
Then I guess more people need to get on board with the we're going to lose.
We got to take over we got to take it over and overrun it. If that's what we want to do, like happened in '92.
You mean like the Tea Party in Boston when they threw out all the tea in the ocean and they took over and they overran it?
Not 1892.
Not that Tea Party, but not going like that far.
Yes.
1992 is what I'm speaking of.
But
1992 when the party was flipped.
Revolution happens with standing a moral ground and having more say. You know what? I like that moral ground. I'm going to stand with you.
I'm not saying, but I'm not saying compromise your morals. I never said that.
But everything has been compromised with my morals with the last.
Okay, well.
All right, so you brought up the Tea Party. I'll give this quick example, and then I want everybody prepared for final thoughts. I'll give this quick example. 3% on record fought the Revolutionary War. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of the population was divided 50-50. People wanted to stay with the crown, people wanted to leave the crown. That meant that 47% of the people sometimes had to play the middle and act like they were still with the crown, depending on who they were talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean they were traitors? Does that mean they were not patriots? Does that mean they were not revolutionaries? Does that mean they didn't fully understand the depths of their commitment to the battle? 3% fought and won the Revolutionary War. 50-50 on with the crown or against the crown. Okay? Those are the types of dynamics, dichotomies I want us to assess. When we say what part of the 20%, you can't be for abortion on demand. You can't be for a number of the leftist agendas and be any close to an 80% with me. If you have taken money from one of the establishment groups, doesn't automatically disqualify. What's coming out of your mouth? It
fucking does, because if you're taking money from those people, you're supporting pedophilia, you're supporting the trafficking of children.
There are some people that didn't know they were taking money from the devil.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
We know where your money's coming from, and we need to get money out of the system.
Did you know that 5 years ago where you were at?
Money out of the system.
Did I know they were corrupt money grabbers? Yes,
No.
I sure did.
There were people that supported you running for school board that you didn't know the depths of their depravity.
I learned the depths of their
You
depravity.
learned the depths of their depravity.
But I did not take their money.
No. There are people that have been walked up to and said, hey, we really believe in you. You look like a good candidate. We want to help you out. We've got a lot of connections with a lot of good people. Here's the money.
I didn't take money from people. Like
you didn't, but there are other people that did. You can't write them off.
Where your money comes from.
Okay, sometimes that comes in hindsight, and you can't write people off because of that.
So I'm supposed to say, okay, I'm going to work with Tudor Dixon.
You judge a
when I
person
know
by their...
Tudor Dixon was planted in there by the dirty money, knowing where the dirty money came from.
Scripture says you judge a person by their fruit. I disagree with Tudor Dixon being our nominee for governor. 100%.
I disagree with all the nominees, to be honest.
But
So I mean, they all suck.
but
To be honest,
as far as her taking money,
I like
does
Brian
not
Kelly.
disqualify the fact
Brian
that
Kelly
she had a
wasn't
good
the
platform,
nominee.
and she was
Right.
heartfelt in her platform. She lost in the fact that she took the strongest stance on abortion.
Yes, that I do know.
Kevin,
So
100%.
the point is, and Trump chose the other two. So I mean,
he's terrible at picking candidates.
Oh, I know that.
He's terrible at it. He's got a horrible track record.
so what my point is,
Yes.
Who's buzzing?
you know, in the end,
Probably me again.
Stop hitting
we
the table.
we gotta we gotta work with what we got, right?
I called for final thoughts. Am I taking another
and
hit?
you don't have to compromise your morals to do that.
I do if
No,
they're a
you
globalist.
don't.
I
No,
absolutely do.
Because
you
you're
don't.
not
That person-
responsible
you
for
don't
that
have-
person.
you
You
don't-
have no responsibility for that
You're
person.
right. You're right. And so I
So
can
you can
choose.
still be a moral
So I can
stronghold and
choose
say, I
to
disagree with you on this
disengage
thing, but
myself from that person and say, I'm doing this over here.
Uh-huh.
F you.
So you can then be ineffectual yelling at a beetle on a stump in the
You know,
woods.
you
Yeah, I
can,
mean, you're
you
not-
can
you're not
say
gonna
it's
get anything done that
ineffectual, but
way.
you know what? There were only 12 disciples.
no, there were 100. There were 72
There were-
sent
wait,
out
there
on a
was
regular basis.
5,000.
There were 12 apostles.
There were 12 apostles. There were 72
There were
sent on a
lots of
regular
There were
basis.
the 12 disciples that
12
followed, and that was
apostles.
his group of people.
Then
Those were his
3,000, then
people.
5,000.
And when they said, Lord, we found some people baptizing your name, we told them to stop, he rebuked them and said, don't stop them. They're doing a good thing. Leave them alone.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people doing good things that don't have all the information that
They're
Larry-
not doing good things.
They are.
They're not.
Okay.
What's their fruit?
Pushing electronic voting is not a good thing. Covering
Okay.
up election fraud is not a good thing.
Are they doing
Supporting-
that passively or actively?
Some of them are very actively doing it. Some of them,
Okay.
I don't know if they're passively
so
doing it or if
develop
they're
a
aware.
relationship with them and say, hey, do you know that this is this and this is that?
Do you know
Because
how
if we
hard
just-
that is when they censor
Yes,
you?
I do.
Yes,
and
a
that's the
disciple
whole
is
problem.
When they censor you.
I do
Yep.
know, and
Being
that's
a
the
disciple is
whole
hard.
problem. Is that discipling people versus indoctrinating them is two totally different dichotomies. If we just indoctrinate people, we're no better than the left.
So is it right to be kicked off of a party platform page that I pay to be part of?
Yes,
Is it right to be kicked off
Yes.
that page?
because you're
Because he didn't like what I had to say.
yes.
You think that's
Okay.
okay?
I do
That's
think
okay.
it is.
It's censorship, but that's cool. That's cool. And
What
I'm
is- what is-
supposed to
listen.
unify with those
No,
fuckers.
no. That's not your guys. If that's what you took for tonight, you're missing the whole fucking point of what I said. I'm not saying unify with the fuckers who are trying to
No.
undermine you.
I'm not
I'm
saying
saying
you
unify
said
with
it.
the people who are not opposing you.
I'm not saying you said it.
And all of the people that we agree with will rise up and usurp these leaders who
Listen.
don't have our best interests.
I love Jo Ellen. I love her. She's a wonderful lady. I will work
The
with Jo
people
Ellen
that
all
took you
day long.
off that page,
But she
we're not the leaders.
doesn't
Or we're not
listen-
we're not the grassroots people who agreed with your posts.
She doesn't listen to anything other than what those people
So-
say. Can
so-
I finish really quick? That woman, I will go to the ends of the earth to work with because I know she's pure of heart and she doesn't see.
Yes.
I know that, and I will work with her because she's a good woman. Now, I see the puppeteer she's following. I will not agree with her on stances. And when I disagree, I am disengaged and told that I am no longer allowed to speak.
Okay, so-
How can I work with someone that I support because
So
I know they're a good person when I am disengaged from that person from being able to speak the truth?
All right, so I'm going to address this. Get ready for final thoughts because we got to wrap up because Larry's got to piss or something, and Norris has got to piss.
I'm
and Larry's gotta
frustrated
piss.
by it.
No, I get this. So I'm gonna address this one thing. You know her heart, so
I
you
do.
You give her a pass.
Mhm.
I'm asking you to look at the hearts of all the people because
That's what I do.
Scripture says.
Yeah.
Well, that's my contention. Is we're not looking at the hearts of people. We're not judging them by their fruit. We're judging them by association. Jesus entertained Pharisees on a regular basis. Was he a Pharisee? Was he a hypocrite?
No.
But he entertained them on a regular basis in such a way that they could ask him questions to his face. Doesn't mean he was pardoned. He was welcomed in the temple. He was celebrated on Palm Sunday. And 5 days later was condemned to be crucified. There are people who are going to celebrate you. There are people who are going to elevate you. But if we're afraid of everybody, that they don't agree with us on their 20%, we're going to allow the absolute evil to take over because we're going to handicap ourselves. All I'm saying is what you just exactly said, is that the person you know that runs everything is getting bad advice, but you know her heart. And you reach out to her and you try to connect and you try to clarify things and try to talk. That's relationship building. And that's what we're going to have to do throughout our whole community.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't do that, the left is going to continue to destroy everything, not just some things.
I think the point,
everything.
The point that was going on in chat and what now that you've said all that, let me really quick just kind of. It is very difficult to engage, to be able to move forward with those that I know their heart, but also know they're hearing bad things
I'm with you.
or wrong things.
I'm 100%.
Right? It is very difficult when there's a pushback there and a separation and a disconnection. How do I move forward if I have no other way to move forward because I've been disengaged and disconnected? How can I
answer that question real quick?
But I'm asking.
You're being rhetorical?
Yes, I'm being rhetorical.
Because
I know that I can reach out to this person or that person and say, hey, we don't agree on this, but I'm willing to go here with you. Now, I have reached out to other people and I'm like, hey, why'd you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Just explain it to me, because if I can make hide nor hair of why you did it, it's a lot easier for me to be able to connect with you later on down the road. Right? I have no problem with working.
I'm a staunch advocate that scripture says if you got a problem with somebody, you talk to them one-on-one.
But
I'm tired of this bullshit where the
people that are listening are constantly shut down, not answered, rejected.
Correct.
And cannot find a path forward to be able to work with that 80%. Okay. And that is a problem.
And I understand that completely. Can I answer that?
Sure. You explain it to them.
Well, it's something that I keep talking about and we're leaning towards. Create the parallel economy. We are currently on Rumble Studio. You know what Rumble Studio is? Rumble Studio is Rumble's platform alternative to YouTube. I have been deplatformed twice on YouTube. I've been deplatformed on Facebook Live once. Okay. It takes longer to persevere in your moral stance, but there are avenues. And so all I'm saying in response to that is, okay, they kicked you off that platform. Do your own thing.
I don't honestly.
No, I know you do. I know you do.
I could give two shits. I got kicked off the platform.
But it still bothers you because it's you want to connect with people and you want to share your opinions. And
I can't connect with those people.
That's fine.
And that's the hard part.
That's fine.
But then what happens once I'm removed from that platform? I am talked down about to those
and
people,
that's
which
fine.
Undermines.
Because you know what, Kelly,
the moving
Larry,
forward.
Norris, Jeremy, Tim, our fruit will ripen in the sun. In the full light of day.
It's frustrating as
hell. It is frustrating as hell because you know what? Things that last take longer to build.
I know.
And things that are listen. Can I be crass with everybody out here on the show? I mean, it is my show.
Why are you asking permission?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm kind of giving you a disclaimer. It takes about 2 years. A year and a half to 2 years to raise a cow to full ready to be harvested, ready to be butchered.
Oh yeah.
Yum, yum.
Yeah.
And then I put that steak on the grill and I cook it for what, Tim? I cook it for about 12, 13 minutes.
Oh, no. You get it good at even 7.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. I just
7.
sear that steak. Depends on the thickness. And I do that.
Yeah.
And then I cut that steak and it just melts in my mouth. And then I got asparagus on the side, and that asparagus took about 4 months to grow, really from seed to being sautéed in a nice olive oil. And
I haven't had dinner yet. You need to stop.
See, and
I'm waiting for the crust part. Where's the crust part?
It takes me about 6 hours for that steak to be processed and shit out.
That's
right. There's the crust part.
Yeah. Yep.
So what I want to say is this,
If it's
and I'm going to
fatty, it
use
might be a little.
I'm going to use the terminology correctly.
Yes.
Growth takes a long time. From from conception to birth to growth of an animal that I can be butchered
3
into a
years.
steak and put on my plate.
Yes.
It takes very little to prepare that.
Yep.
So growth takes a long time.
You mean
Preparation,
patience?
patience. Preparation takes very little. Growth takes a long time, but preparation, butchering and preparation is very short.
I've been in this shit 4 years.
Right, correct.
I'm patient.
But how old are you? The
Well-
lady never tells her age, but compare that.
Old enough to have been in
Okay.
this longer than I should be.
So growth, preparation, growth takes a long time. Preparation is very small,
Mm-hmm.
but then processing is about 12,
Gesundheit.
about 6 to 12 hours.
It takes no time at all to walk in and take
No
a
time
shit
to
on
process.
everything.
Take a shit. So what I'm saying
No
is you've
time
got a
at
lot
all.
of people that are immature.
Yep.
In our society. And this has been one of my frustrations for years. I want to empower every person out there. Grow up. Can I say it crassly? Grow the fuck up. But I know that growing takes the longest time. Processing, it could be like that. You get it to the butcher. I like to hang my beef. The last cow that I had, I had it hung for 3.5 weeks. Okay. Yeah, but shut your fucking mic off before you take it off.
She's okay, Larry.
Come on, Larry. Are you going to do your final thought or are you going to click it back on?
No, I got to keep going.
Yeah, it's 7 after.
You really got to get going?
Yeah.
You left shit on the dock many times. Let me finish my point. 2 minutes, and then I want your final thought. Give me a 3-minute final thought.
I don't have a final thought. I was going to talk about the news articles. We never got to them.
I know. I didn't get to 2 or
Yeah.
3. Tim's got videos.
I
over
got
there
2
we never
clips
got
we never got to.
to. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I love you, Larry. You're a good man.
I'll sign the paper though before I go.
Sign that fucking paper.
All right.
Okay,
Going
so
over
let me finish this. So our growth takes the longest time. Our processing is short. Sometimes it can be even shorter. It's usually processing and usage are usually about the same time frame
Right.
when you're dealing with cows. Okay. If I take a cow to the butcher and it's processed, the actual time the cow is there may be a long time, but the actual time spent processing it is very short window. So I want people to get that concept is, look, we're all in the growth. We hit moments of processing and moments of fruit. We hit moments. I'm really trying to get it to the heart of everybody. Be patient with yourself and each other on that process. Now look, those on the left, those that are actually physically, that are actively working against you, you write those off. You write those fucking people off right off the bat. I'm not talking, stop including those people in the fucking discussion. I'm talking about the vast majority of the people that you might disagree with, that might be aligned with the fucking idiot that's working against everybody. Or are you really kind of aligned with that person? And they go, well, I heard this and I heard that and I heard this. And I go, okay, well, but did you hear this? And did you hear this? Did you hear that? And they go, no, I didn't hear that. I go, okay, well, this actually happened. That actually happened. And they go, oh shit, I didn't know that happened. I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. I'm not going out of my way to be against that person. This person's fruit, there's some heavy duty tree limbs on this fucking tree that are bearing some bad fruit. I'm not going out of my way to call attention to it. I'm bearing my fruit. And the fruit I'm bearing tastes fucking great. So if you're eating my fruit and then you're asking about the fruit of another tree, I go, well, there's some issues with that tree. That's what I'm saying is the most difficult part of all this, guys, is that real relationship takes effort.
Yeah.
It takes longevity. It takes growth. 80% is a friend or an ally. 20% doesn't mean they're 20% a traitor. There are a lot of, I wouldn't agree with myself 20 years ago. Well, for the most part, I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's a number of people that have come in and they've woken up over the last, dude, just with Trump coming in on the forefront. There's so many people that have woken up that were part of the leftist Democrat ignorant party that have woken up. And I go, we have to, on that level, not accommodating, not compromising our morals, but at least like you did with the person in your chair. Oh, you've never heard that? Okay, I'm gonna be what would you call it?
Diplomatic.
Diplomatic. That's a great word. To be I'm going to be diplomatic with you. Can I assume that the person? Of course, there are people in our leadership across the board that if they were on fire, you don't want to piss on them. You just want to let them burn.
That's not true. I would always help somebody.
Okay, then that's good.
I would
too.
I would always help
I went to the extreme to see where we're at. But what I'm saying is, there are people in leadership that you go, you're for ego, you're for money, you're for power, you're for whatever. I get that. But those 400, 500 people that are following you don't see you don't see the fruit the way that they're looking at the front of the tree and it looks red and ripe and everything good. And I'm seeing the back of the tree where it's rotten and it's nasty. But how do I 80% with those people, regardless of the tree? Because right now, that's what I'm seeing.
I keep doing what I'm doing. And that's what I keep saying.
That's it.
But that's the thing is everybody takes that like they just like he said. So you're going to sit and scream by yourself over in the corner? No, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep pushing forward.
Correct.
I'm going to keep moving.
Let your light so shine that it may be seen of men.
Because I'm not going to worry about what that person's doing. And if they want to join me, join me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. And I'm not going to do it your way. I'm going to do what I'm doing until the job is done. Join me, spit on me, piss on me, set me on fire. I don't care. I don't like golden showers, but I'm going to do what I do.
Yeah, TMI. Okay.
I know, right? But that's what you know what I'm saying. He said they wouldn't piss on you yeah.
All right. Give me
it's
this.
true.
We'll finish up. Is there anything, last things in chat?
It goes back to things I don't know if you necessarily want to talk about.
Well, cat respecter, they all eventually bend the knee. No, you know what? Our country eventually did not bend the knee. Our country stood up. And if we, you know what they came out of and then what they were subjected to was so abhorrent of what they came out of. Listen, if you got to cross an ocean that you're not sure is that there's land on the other side to get to a place and you're establishing new ground, then when somebody on the other side of that ocean says, you got to give us a bunch of money for your labor, they had a problem with that. The two taxes that our founding fathers fought against for the Revolutionary War, the two.
Don't even get me started on
two taxes they fought against. Okay? And we have hundreds,
we have thousands of
if
taxes.
not thousands of taxes that were levied against us, but they were put in according to the Communist Manifesto, which you mentioned, right?
Or some other
slowly,
that's it.
Incrementally, they were brought in slowly and incrementally and implemented. And so we didn't see them. It's the boiling frog.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are starting to wake up. They're like, wait a minute, I got less money in my pocket. Wait, the Federal Reserve is not federal? Wait, this is not this? So
wait till they find out about the Titanic and JFK. Jeez, oh Pete.
Jeez. So but Trump was the one
doing what to whose kids and what school?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now they want to do what to what goat around what shed for how many cookies?
Correct.
Yeah, all right.
Trump was, you know what? People criticize Trump. I go, I understand. But he did what he said he was going to do. He drained the swamp.
Yeah,
People think draining the swamp meant cleaning the swamp, getting rid of the swamp creatures.
That's our job.
He drained the swamp.
Yeah.
You have seen, did people think Pence was a backstabbing traitor?
Never liked him.
Not like him from the beginning. I thought it was a shit choice.
Yep, agreed.
Okay. But the vast majority of the people, because I don't have uninformed fucking people sitting on my show. Come on. All right. So you guys knew.
Yeah, he was.
But
he
the
was a
vast
shit
majority
governor.
of the people out there
He was a good Catholic.
thought he was a good Republican,
Except for when
Republican.
he goes to the boys club.
Yeah, but until it
Correct.
got down to the wire,
That's what I
and
said, he's a good
But they
Catholic.
thought he was a good Republican.
Conservative.
No, the leader of his state. What the
Oh,
fuck's the
governor?
governor. Yeah,
Governor.
like I said, he capitulated. That's
He
what,
was
that's when he shit on the party. He shit on
But-
believers at that
But
point.
here's
Yeah.
the thing about Trump. Trump listens to his advisors. They
Yeah,
advised him because here's a man who has run multi-billion-dollar corporations, and he doesn't have time to vet every single employee and every person in front of him. So he gets a few people that he trusts, right? And they betray him. He trusted his daughter
He
and his
fires as
son-in-law.
quick as he hires.
Have you read his books?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But I'm saying is
His
that
daughter, yes.
you don't always get all the information, and sometimes you connect with the wrong people.
Well, and I think sometimes he lets people.
yeah, but he keeps doing it. That's the problem.
I
That's
think
the
some.
problem.
Oh, he's
Well,
doing better.
I think
Look who he's got.
sometimes he lets people be who they are, so they can show who they are.
That's true.
That's
very
what.
true.
If you've read
Very
his
true.
books, he talks about it. He literally talks about
Yep.
it.
Yeah, but it's to
Why-
his,
why
now,
should
but
I-
now it's to his detriment. So what
Well,
is
no,
that?
why
I don't
should
think
I?
it's to his
Yeah, I think
detriment
so.
because if eventually they come out as rotten fruit, then I guess his fruit's still clean, huh?
Yeah.
He just fall away.
Billion-dollar corporation,
You
and they
can't
couldn't find a
control
single
somebody
person that
else.
would turn on him.
What's that?
Billion-dollar corporation, they couldn't find
That's
a single
fine,
person.
but I mean, now we're talking about government. Though.
Right.
He's got to
Correct.
be much more circumspect when
So,
it comes
having
to
never been a politician, he steps in and says, "Who have
that.
been?"
But you got to stop repeating the same errors.
Oh, agreed, 100%.
Now that the point is, I see the same
He's-
errors being committed.
How long did he stand? How long did he mantra the warp speed?
Yeah.
The last speech that was here in Waterford, Michigan, no mention whatsoever. He's been backed off that for a good 4 or 5 months because people have finally told him and gotten through to him that was okay. Your intent to get the economy back rolling, to get people back to work, to get lockdown done, that was a good intent.
Mm-hmm.
But you listen to fucking Fauci and listen to Gates, and they were deceiving you.
Should have never happened in the first place.
How does nobody remember Fauci in the 80s and 90s? How does no one remember? I remember
exactly.
that. How does no one remember that?
Yeah.
So he should never been there in the first place.
I
Again.
know.
So
Like the gay community wanted him hung.
Yeah.
We hung him in effigy.
Watch the Dallas Buyers Club, and you'll hear the whole story.
Exactly.
All right. Any final thoughts over Norris?
I think
We're
pretty
good?
much covered it all. I think we're good. I mean,
Kelly?
on my
I
part.
am tired.
You've
I was so sick. I was so freaking sick.
been gone a few weeks. You were just under the weather, and you've been getting caught up.
Oh,
still.
it was a sinus infection that turned into a vertigo bout. It was
Ooh.
fun.
Ugh.
Oh, that is a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
My final thought on this, guys. Listen, I'm not. What do you say? Say it again. I know it was only in your head, but I didn't hear it because I was talking.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So do I.
Well,
So do I.
I will throw one thing in. Like I say, and addressing you. No, I'm never asking anybody to compromise their principles. I don't compromise my principles at all, ever. My thing is, like I say, I'm just saying is for the issues that we want to get advanced,
Yeah.
we need to get them advanced. We come out in November, we got to win, period.
Right.
So we need to do everything we can ethically to do that.
Correct.
So, and that's what I'm saying. And so the whole 80-20 thing is
Here-
about winning at this point.
Is this a good-
Because if we continue what we have now, Democrats are going to fuck us.
Be as wise
For the
as
next
serpents,
2 years.
harmless as
Wise as serpents, harmless as doves. And this is this another good phrase? The enemy of my enemy is
My friend.
my friend.
Mhm.
So wait, if you're against that fucking idiot over there, and I'm against that fucking idiot,
Let's do it.
then let's get this stuff done.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
With Reagan is
until I find somebody else who's against you
Listen.
that I agree with.
well, I mean, listen, Russia made their play after World War II.
Sure they did.
After the war was won, after there was victory in Europe on in World War II, then they made their play to try to grab as much territory. They were limited to only having a quarter of Germany. They turned that into a Cold War. That played out the way it played. We
What did
understand
Patton
that.
say? Patton said, "Why are we stopping here at Berlin? Let's go all the way to Moscow."
He did say that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have been fully but
well, and there
it was more
also
advantageous for the military industrial complex to prop up Russia as the enemy. Now that they had propped up Hitler for so long, Germany in particular, but Hitler at the end for so long as the enemy that we needed to fight against.
Well, definitely
most
since
people-
World War II, maybe even
Well,
before.
but most
the
people
US
don't remember
could
that.
have taken over the world. We haven't by choice.
I think that was a just water fight. So
I think we're living in the Man in the High Castle and we just don't know it.
That was a good series.
That was a great
Yeah.
series. So I want to say
the
this.
ending sucked though.
Listen,
I didn't see the ending.
Yeah,
there are people. Listen, can I say this? There are people in your life that you may disagree with. Take an actual assessment of the fruit produced from their tree. Are they a good person? Do they have conservative values? Are they America first? Do they believe in life, womb to term? Do they believe in a lot of? Then start to we can find a lot of times we look at the 20% and we begin to magnify it, and I go, wait, that's way beyond 20%. Actually, take the time with the friends that you have in your life that you have contentions with, disagreements with, and assess with them and say, wait a minute, I do agree with you on 8/10, 9/10 of the things, but I disagree with you over here. So you know what? On that, I not agree to disagree, but I'm going to set that aside because in that 80%, there is something that we agree on that we need to combat. We don't want pedophilia in our schools. We don't want this. We don't want that. We don't want this. So how do I unite with you? How do I connect with you
Suffer
on
the
that?
failings of the week.
These other issues that we disagree on, let's just set those aside. Not agree to disagree. We're not agreeing to disagree. We're just disagreeing. Let's just not even address that. Doesn't mean you're a traitor. Doesn't mean you're evil. We're fighting actual evil.
Yeah.
Let's battle together against the evil, and then when the evil is defeated, then we can have a discussion about the other shit that we disagree on. Is that all right? Is that all right? As many as are led by the Spirit of God,
Come
they're the
on.
sons of God.
I know something's coming out.
No, we're supposed to be done.
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna start something.
All right, give me a overhead, Tim. I'm a sign, and then we'll call it for the night. You can go pee. I can go pee.
I'll tell you once the cameras are off.
All right, she's gonna let me have it. Love you guys. There it is. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate everybody in chat. I know there's a lot of discussions. I try to get everybody else on the table involved in discussions so we don't miss the chat going on there, and we don't marginalize you guys, but we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you very much. Tim and your full bladder, take it away, sir.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to push the close button.
Oh, you're going to push. Oh, all right. There.
Is it the eggs?
Yeah, it's the egg.
Well, but I
But-
push the close button because then I can push
Have
this
you ever-
button. And I can go to my microphone where I'm now the only one talking. And the QR codes are on the screen. Like I said, I'm going to start doing this just only at break. There's the Twitch email and Twitch and email. And there's the close.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude,
that's an egg.
seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
I'm not good at this. Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize. Yeah.
Never apologize and never explain.